What is going on, everybody? We are back with another wrestling review. This is CCW, and I'm Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And we're talking about both All Out and Wrestlepalooza that both happened today as of this recording, but by the time we're done recording, it will probably have technically dipped over into tomorrow with how long this damn show was.
Yeah. It is currently Saturday,
I'm sorry.
September 20th.
It's not even just this show, it's these shows.
These.
Because
yes, plural.
WWE and all of its billionaire glory, I guess, decided they're going to keep counter-programming AEW, and just to prove how bad their product is in a wrestling sense, in comparison.
Oh, boy, was it.
And again, when we get there, guys, I want you guys to understand, I actually don't even think the matches were necessarily that bad, except for one that I didn't watch. I just knew how it ended. But it's definitely not as good quality-wise, match-wise, overall.
No. Work rate, obviously, in AEW is better and has been better since the inception of that company.
Since, like, 2019? 2018? When did they actually start
2018, I think?
2018?
I think it's 2018.
I always hear 2019 as, like, its glory years, as people like to call it.
Sure.
I'll be honest with you guys. Whenever I see clips from 2018 and 2019, it actually looks like shit to me.
So
the production is so bad.
The production they were new at it. The production budget was less than.
And it's barely gotten better. Don't get me wrong.
Their roster was less than.
Right. It takes time to build up too. Like, again, I started watching this shit 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. When did Saraya first come back?
That was in 2022, 2023, 2022, I think.
It was Full Gear.
Was she there?
2022.
Like 3 years. Was it? Okay. See, look, I know my stuff.
So she wrestled. So here's the thing. I started watching the Dynamite she showed up, which was a week or two before Full Gear. Because there were rumors that she was going to show up. So I wanted to watch to see what she would do. Because again, I want you guys to understand something. I was a Paige fan, and I was bummed that she got the type of injury that she did that basically forced her into retirement.
You can't mess with necks and concussions.
So when it was pretty much known that she was coming back, the intrigue was piqued, because I was like, well, and it's not even so much that I think Saraya had a good run in AEW. She really didn't overall.
No, I would agree with that.
Her health kept her out for most of it. Her health and personal life things. Because I know towards the end, she was out of AEW spotlight a lot because of the issues I think her and Ronnie were having. And I don't think they were having necessarily like bad breakup issues, but she was trying to get her life together outside of being with him.
Right. Divorce is hard for everybody involved,
right,
even if it's a mutual split.
So Tony gave her the time off she needed, and she even thanked him for that on Twitter. And she was like, hey, thanks for the time off for the things that I got to take care of and stuff like that. And then they just never brought her back in because they knew the end of her contract was coming up, and it is what it is.
Yep. He does that with a lot of people. He sits a lot of people on the quote-unquote bench for a while. Like, he's got a lot of talent on that bench because there's only so much TV time you have.
Right. But all that aside, I was interested to see what they were going to do with her and see if she was even going to be capable of holding up any coming back to any sort of resemblance of what she was. Which she never reached that height. She obviously, she won the women's championship, and I loved that she had that opportunity for herself. But it wasn't a good run. And she struggled, and a lot of it is because she's limited in what she could do because of her history.
Yeah. She was booked as a transitional champion as a feel-good story for the place that they were booking the show.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No. And, but yeah, so like that is when I started watching, was Full Gear. And, again, it was actually like a Dynamite or two before Full Gear, but I consider Full Gear like my official jump-on point for AEW. Obviously, going into that, I don't know hardly anything about the history. I know of a few people that are there from, like, stories that you read online, Because as a wrestling fan, even if you're not watching a show, you're going to hear about it. So like just over time, you know, you start learning about the people, learning about the stories and stuff. So like I'm sitting here, guys, and I want you to understand something. As somebody who's had to suffer through what WWE's been doing, going in and watching 2022 and 2023, and honestly even 2024 AEW, where there's a lot of AEW fans. And don't get me wrong, there's some highs there because Punk came back during that time, and then Punk left during that time.
Punk stuff was
there
both, was a lot of highs and lows. There was really no in between.
It was both there were some really good highs and some really bad lows for that. But over
some really low lows.
But over and above all, it was still all better average quality than what I last remembered from WWE.
Easily.
And when people are like, "Oh man, 2023 or 2024 AEW is rough," it's been a rough year with stories and things like that, and I'm watching it and I'm enjoying the shit that's going on. Like, especially with I'm telling you right now, one of my favorite all-time feuds at this point in life in wrestling, period, is Swerve and Hangman. Because they did some nasty shit to each other. And I don't just mean the matches themselves.
Just drink each other's blood. I mean, like...
Now, and again, I enjoyed that shit because that's the type of shit warriors would do in the battlefield.
Yeah. Hepatitis is a real thing.
It is.
Bloodborne pathogens in general.
But, aside from that, I was talking about also, like, just in terms of, like, burning a fucking house down, you know, shit like that. So, yeah, like, I thoroughly enjoyed most of what I was seeing from 2023, 2024, the end of 2022, because Full Gear, I think, is end of the year, November, I think is when it was. So, yeah, when I was hearing people talk about, oh, yeah, there are some really big downs, and I'm like, this is still better than what I last remember from like 2019 WWE. I can't complain, right? And honestly, it's gotten better since then. I actually think this year's been a really good year for AEW, quality-wise, all around. There's always going to be some downs. It's wrestling. Not everything's going to hit. But days like today, where we're going to be talking about 2 shows back-to-back, and this is where I think WWE's fucking up, if I'm being honest. Trying to counterbook AEW. And again, you get to watch both shows back-to-back, and you actually realize how watered down the wrestling is in WWE, and how just slow it is, and how not as... Like, I'm telling you guys right now, when we get to, like, my match of the night for... AEW and my match of the night for WWE are so vastly different. One involves women, one does not. But we'll get there when we get there. But I still enjoyed both shows overall. It's just one was more entertaining. All right. So honestly, this is what I'm going to do. I don't really want to go into detail over all these pre-show matches. I don't care that much.
Oh, I forgot about the pre-show. Yeah, just let's just go over the winners.
Because nothing happened in those pre-shows except for one thing that I do want to point out. First and foremost, I missed the entirety of the very first match because AEW did fuck up today. And instead of letting people know that there was a difference between the Tailgate Show and 0 Hour, I was watching 0 Hour laughing because RJ was actually pretty much asking both Renee and who was it?
Bryan
Danielson. If they've ever hate fucked anybody, which was hilarious. Now he didn't word it like that because you can't word it like that exactly, but that is what he mentioned. It was a weird conversation that made me laugh, and I'm sure Renee felt awkward.
It sounds like some HR shit.
It sounds like RJ. I don't, for those of you, I don't know how much you guys have watched from him, but he's a very weird open book. It's amazing.
He's the one who helps Tony Storm with all her, uh, with her gimmick.
Right.
We'll just call it a gimmick.
But while that was going on, they were wrestling on another show. It was apparently technically Collision.
Yeah, my dish had it marked as Collision because I couldn't find it on YouTube. I couldn't find it on the preview for the paper because usually the pre-show runs before the pay-per-view on Dish as well. And I'm like, dude, I can't find. You messaged me first and was like, hey, make sure you're not watching the 0 hour. It's the pre-show matches aren't going to be on 0 hour. The tailgate's something different. So I'm like, okay. So I hit YouTube and I actually type in the tailgate and all that, and I get like previews for it. But I'm like, where the fuck is this? It's not on YouTube like it normally is. So then I start scrolling through my Dish channels, and I'm like, well, maybe it's on TNT for some reason, and it says AEW Collision is on. I'm like, I bet that's it, and I turn it on, and yep.
Yeah. The only reason I know, so I'm in the AEW Fight Forever modding Discord.
Well, I'm in their Discord too, but I never check it.
Well, I chat with them while I'm in there, and now I don't mod because I don't understand how it works for Fight Forever, and I also don't have it installed. But I'm in there because I actually think they're good people to talk to, anyways. And the only reason I knew that it was on something else is because one of them told me, or I'd have sat there and watched all the 0 hour, wondering when the hell these fucking pre-show matches were going to start.
Did they cancel all the pre-show matches?
But yeah, so I missed the entire first one, which was the Ops versus the Workhorsemen. Joe won with a Kikita clutch, and then
basically what I read, it was pretty much a squash. Joe did the nope spot. Hobbs held the other dude down while he snatched him up in the submission victory.
Right. Daniel Garcia beat Katsuyori Shibata due to shenanigans, per norm.
I did see about half of that match. It was fine.
It was fine. I like, and this is the one I was actually going to be a little more talkative about, not much more. I do like that Garcia's new finishing move is the surfboard stomp.
I agree. I think it's a lot better than the stupid submission that he makes look like shit.
It also fits this new bad boy attitude that he's kind of running with right now. So,
bad boy.
And you know what? It's not. It's not hammer. It's not. It's not the hammer anvil fucking elbows.
Yeah. He can do it on everybody too.
Yeah.
Well, at least he should be able to at least half-ass do it on everybody.
I put this was a match I didn't even know was here, so we didn't even vote on it. There was Hologram, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong versus this frat team that I never remember exists until they wrestle.
Yeah, Paragon won.
Paragon won. Pretty easily overall.
Yep.
Hologram got the pin with a double stomp on one of the frat guys. And then I said I didn't even know that was going to be a match. Roddy kept evil eyeing Hologram for getting the win, which makes no sense. You just won. Be happy. You cranky bitch.
Oh, he doesn't want to be a part of the conglomeration, man.
I wonder how long this is going to go before he either forces Kyle to choose, or he finally at least likes them enough to be around them. Or if they're just always going to be irritating.
Can Adam Cole just come back and just manage them?
He's got to
get him away from this silly shit.
He's got to get over whatever the fuck he's got going on. I don't know if like did they ever actually come out and say what's wrong? Like I know he got that concussion.
It's concussions.
But
Kyle
yeah.
Fletcher gave him a concussion on a lariat.
So then the last match was the stupid listen. I have went to bat for these women for most of these stupid matches that they've had. They're like 5-on-5, 6-on-6, whatever, right? And I do think the matches have progressively gotten better over time. But then they ended it with the stankiest of fucking matches. It's the worst match these women have had.
When I say the highlight for me for this match was the gear that Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford came out with.
Listen,
that should tell you how bad the match was.
Listen, the highlight of this match was all of that ass in one ring. And,
well,
but I say I'm mostly joking. There's just not much going on. Like, guys, there is a point when Willow Nightingale starts fighting with red Solo cups. I just want you to know that. She used them as a weapon. Like, when that happened, it took me completely out of the match. And here's what I want you guys to understand. So this is on Collision, right? So after that happens, you see, I believe it was Julia it was either Julia or Sky Blue, one of the two of them, had a staple gun and was about to use it in the ring, and they went to commercial break, so you didn't get to see him use it at first, right? It goes to commercial break because, again, it's technically a collision hour. And you're sitting there, you wait for the commercials to get done, you come back from the commercials, and they throw the staple gun out of the ring as soon as you come back from the commercials. So you didn't even get to see the one good weapon that was used in the entire match.
You mean the Solo cups wasn't going to do it for you? What about the blue cooler they had?
Who was it that was like, what wasn't it? Penelope Ford and Sky Blue, I think at one point. It might have been them two. It was Penelope Ford and somebody. No, it wasn't Sky Blue because they were on the same team. I think it was Harley Cameron. I think it was Penelope Ford and Harley Cameron were fighting with a ladle and a spoon. Like sword fighting. And I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, you guys have had actually really good matches the last couple of times.
They're setting women's wrestling back 20 years to the Divas era.
And then you just do this gimmicky, stupid match that's not necessary. Like, who is this for?
I'm rubbing off on you.
No, because there's a difference. Like, this is for nobody. Like, at least whenever
it's for somebody.
It's for the people that want to jerk it to ass. That's it. There's nothing else that this match offers. It's
stupid.
Like, at least when there's like a hardcore match for you and I, right? I like blood way more than you do, and I like way more blood than you do. Like, I'm okay with a fucking bloodbath in the ring.
I am too if it's for a reason, but most of the time, bleed just to bleed.
Yeah, I don't need a reason. I'm a horror fan though, so like bleed. Everybody can bleed. I'm okay with that.
John Moxley just wakes up and blades, so it just.
Funny enough, he hasn't bled in a long time, but you knew he was bleeding tonight. We'll get there though. But no, this match wasn't for anybody, dude. It really wasn't, and. That's part of my problem with it. Like, nothing got established. Nothing really happened. Like, the faces won. Cool.
The bad thing is, don't worry, next week it'll be booked again on Collision.
It'll be different groups of women. They got to feature somebody different.
It's been nearly the same 10 women booked in some different arrangement for the last 6 weeks.
That's because they've been setting up the 2 matches that happened on this night involving those 7 women.
What a blow-off this was.
Yeah, no, that's why I said this match specifically was dumb. And it didn't need to exist.
No, don't worry. They're about to do it over for another 4 weeks before their next pay-per-view where they get another 0-hour match.
We can start the main show now that I've ranted.
And
it actually starts off with a great fucking match that has a kind of shitty ending.
Oh man, this match was awesome until the finish.
I said it looks like we're getting Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Bryan Danielson as our commentating team. I already missed Taz. Now at this point, I didn't know Taz was going to eventually come out and replace Schiavone.
I forgot Schiavone was even there.
So I was just bummed because I was like, oh, Taz didn't make another trip. Because, like, he didn't make it to the last pay-per-view.
The last pay-per-view, yeah.
So I was bummed. Because Taz is my favorite commentator for AEW.
Yep, mine as well.
Bryan
Danielson's getting there, though.
Oh, Bryan Danielson's so good. Dude, that man was commentating with passion tonight. He gave you that old-school JR feel at some moments.
Dude, you could tell he just wants to jump in there.
Oh, yeah. It was great. But we'll get there. Because I actually specifically mentioned that at some point in my notes. I'm pretty sure I messaged you when it happened as well. Yep. So yeah, Cope and Christian versus FTR. Before FTR even comes out, the crowd starts chanting, "He's our asshole." Because Cope and Christian come out first, right? Cope comes out, they do his little song thing that everybody does now, and then Christian comes out. And as soon as Christian's music's done, he's in the ring, they're leaning up against the ropes. The entire crowd starts going, "He's our asshole." And I was like, that's amazing. FTR's not even out yet.
Yeah, I love Christian. I've always been more of a Christian fan than Cope, so this made me happy.
I've been more of an Edge fan, because I felt like he was always used in more interesting stories.
That's because Vince McMahon hated Christian.
But I do think Christian is the better wrestler.
I'll agree with that.
But FTR comes out rocking Brett colored tights, which I thought was a nice.
There are 2 Bret Hart marks, so that makes sense.
Yep, they're in Canada. Canada. Crowd chants, "Oh, fuck the revival!" pretty early on. We get some good teamwork early on from Cope and Christian as well. Cash eventually gets tagged in and spits on Cope immediately. So Cope hits a says press. Cope does the 5-knuckle shuffle and attitude adjustment as they call out to John Cena, who had just recently done Edge's spear.
And don't worry, Tony Schiavone screwed it up and called it a Death Valley driver.
Yeah, no, I ignored commentary for a good part of the first 3 matches.
I said I forgot Tony Schiavone was there until I looked at my notes and said, and it showed it there.
So yeah, it was super cool for him to do that as a gesture of love back to Cena, who had just shown him love earlier.
Especially since they couldn't lock back up during Cena's farewell thing because they're in 2 rival companies.
So yeah, I was super excited to see him do it. Cope and Christian were going for a twist of fate and Swanton Bomb combo. Like, there are a lot of old schools, and here's what made me laugh. So the way it was positioned, Edge was going to be the one doing the Swanton Bomb, and I'm like, he's the one you don't want doing that. Like, between the 2 of them, I'm just saying. So I'm happy it didn't go through. But yes, they were going for it. Edge hits an unprettier on Dax while Christian hits a spear on Cash as the ref goes for the 3 count. Stokely pulls the ref out, some music plays, and Beth Phoenix comes out. Beth Copeland comes out.
There you go.
She carries Stoke off into the back, which I thought was hilarious. Cash ends up powerbombing Christian into the Spanish announce desk.
After picking him up on the apron, walking him down the steps.
Yeah.
And then powerbombing him on the table.
Dax hits Cope with the bell while the ref is distracted, and they hit a spiked pile driver, and Edge ends up kicking out. And I was like, why?
Yeah. That's the first of many kickouts from Cope.
Yeah. And then Edge ends up hitting an impaler on both Dax and Cash separately, which I thought was pretty cool. But then FTR hit a shatter machine and Cope kicks out again. And I'm like, this is bullshit. They hit a second shatter machine and Edge still fights out. He ends up hitting a spear while Christian holds on to Dax so that he couldn't break up the pin attempt. And Cope and Christian end up winning. And here's the thing. I don't care that they won. I picked them to win. I figured they were going to.
Yep, not my problem either.
But
it's just, why did he have to be the fucking unbreakable man to do it?
We have got to get away from all of this kicking out of finishers thing. It happened, dude. Listen,
it's WrestleMania kickouts at every show,
and it's again, show. It's not even just an AEW thing. You're gonna hear me bitch about this later.
For the same thing.
You're gonna hear me.
It's wrestling in general.
You're gonna hear me bitch about this for the Cody Rhodes match later too. Like,
yep. He's bad in that match too.
I am so tired of
no finish is protected anymore, except for Kenny's. That is the only finish that is protected. Even the F5 is not protected. I mean, nothing's protected anymore, and it's just ridiculous.
So, post-match, after they win, Nick Wayne's music hits, and Mama Wayne pushes Nick Wayne out in a wheelchair. At first, I was like, "Oh, Nick Wayne's already healed from his broken ankle." No, he's still in his wheelchair. They push him out, and while he's distracted, Cope gets handcuffed by Kip Sabian in the corner.
Yeah, to the bottom rope.
And Beth is like trying to protect him. While this is happening, FTR hits a spiked pile driver on Christian. So he's laid out.
Then they look at her and they're
Beth,
like, "Oh."
Beth, like Edge tells her that she needs to leave. She gives him a kiss and decides to stand her fucking ground because she ain't about that running away life. She never has been.
No, she's a tough cookie.
And she fought. Boy, did she fight. She was taking it to him for like 20 seconds. And they finally grabbed her.
Punches looked a lot better than Becky Lynch and AJ Lee's punches, I'll tell you that.
That's true. But yeah, so Beth ends up finally getting Spike Pile Drive, which I popped for. Because, guys, I just want you guys to know something. I grew up in the Attitude Era. I watched women get power bombed by dudes through tables, especially if they were old. And I have no problem with this shit happening. Somebody somewhere is going to be mad and be like, "Oh, women shouldn't be taking moves from men." And I'm like, wrestling. It's a thing. It's been a thing for the history of wrestling.
I liked the post match because I thought this match was fantastic until all the Superman kick out bullshit.
Right.
Like if they could have had a normal finish and then all this stuff happened, I would have thought it was the perfect match. There was a stereo sharpshooter where the Canadians had Dax and Cash in sharpshooters. That was the only, I think, spot you missed that I would have added to it. It was a very well wrestled match. Yeah. I came in with kind of low expectations, not knowing what to expect because the build has been kind of weird. But they delivered.
I don't think the match...
The booking and overproducing of the finish was the only problem to the match.
I don't think the match itself I was ever worried was going to be bad because we're talking about... Listen, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. At this point where I'm at in my life and all of the wrestling I've watched for the last 35 to 40 years, I can comfortably sit here and tell you I think FTR is the best tag team ever in the history of wrestling. I'm not sugarcoating it.
I would agree. I would say it's them and the Dudleys.
The Dudleys are a very close number 2. That is absolutely for sure. Yep. And I know there's going to be
I would love to see them both in their prime being able to wrestle each other. I think that match would be just insane. Stupidly good.
Insane. And don't get me wrong, guys. We're talking about, like, obviously, we're not talking about my favorites. We're talking about, I think, and FTR is one of my favorites right now as well. But we're talking about when I actually sit here and think of, like, best tag teams I've ever seen wrestle. That's it for me. Road Warriors are up in the top 3 to 4 as well.
They're mostly squash matches and Mystique, though, if you go back and look.
Right. But yeah, no, FTR, I think, like I said, is hands down the best tag team to ever do it. So I didn't have any worries as far as this match goes because Edge and Christian are also 30-year vets.
Oh, they're great workers, but you just, due to their age, and I hate to, I'm not trying to age shame or anything, but sometimes that stuff can be hit or miss.
It can. But no, fantastic match, marred by a stupid finish that I'm tired of the bunch of kickouts.
Just let finishers be protected. If you don't want them hitting the finishers, don't let them hit the finishers. Have them hit something else.
Right. I'll let you take this next match. We know how much you love Eddie Kingston. Hey, look, and listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Before he even starts this, from all wrestling, both shows tonight, this is the second worst match.
You're not wrong. And commentary did no favors to them. No favors at all. So we got Eddie Kingston versus Big Bill.
Yeah,
you saying something?
No. I was just we'll let you. It's not gonna be long to talk about, and then I'll bitch about it afterwards.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of notes because it was just kind of a pound around on each other. It was a kind of a hard hitting match that got sloppy towards the end.
Ooh, that Big Bill Bossman slam was rough, boy.
Both of them were rough, but the second one was at least a little better. Eddie didn't get up. Eddie looked like dead weight. Big Bill was trying hard, but Eddie's not a small man, and there's only so much you can do if you're Big Bill. He got him around for several rotations before dropping him. He just had him only like 2 feet from the ground.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was rough, but they hit each other hard. They just didn't hit each other hard when it mattered, because when Eddie went for his back fist finish, he completely whiffed. I literally said, "Oh no, please don't let that be the finish," and he pinned him and counted 3. Commentators screamed, "I think he missed him," and then he sat there and took the 3 count. And then, to Bryan Danielson's credit, he tried like hell to cover, but it just didn't work.
He was like, I think the tip of the fingers caught him just enough. So, listen, here's the thing. I did not expect Eddie Kingston to come in and have a spectacular match right out the gate. Because this man went through what some actually retire off of.
Yeah, the knee injury wise was rough.
So, like, I didn't expect him to come in full forced and have a banger match. But here's what
He came back in better looking shape than I thought he was going to.
Yes, I will. That is true. I'm a little bummed.
He looked a lot thinner than I thought he was going to be.
I'm a little bummed we didn't get like homeless beard Kingston that we've been seeing in like interviews for the last couple of like months. I was really hoping.
He already kind of looks rough, man. You don't want him to look any rougher than he already kind of looks.
No, but he actually looked cool with the long beard.
Claudio sucks egg shirt, though.
Oh yes, absolutely. This man hates for a living.
Claudio Castagnoli,
and I love it. But where my problem with all of this goes, right? Here's the thing. I can understand the stupid botching of like the Boss Man Slam shit. Shit happens when you're in the middle of going. It is what it is. What I cannot be okay with is knowing damn well Kingston has been a pro for as long as he has in the wrestling business, both on the indies and in AEW. And he didn't know to just go ahead and pick Bill up and be like, hey, I'm going to hit it again real quick.
He didn't. When you do a back fist like that, you don't see. He didn't see him get hit.
No, but he should feel it. It's his arm.
Well,
even if you're not,
sold it too.
Even if you're not fully connecting, you feel it. He should have just known and been like, oh no, that wasn't good. Because I'll tell you what, the one he hit post match on fucking
was right on.
Yeah, the one he hit on Keith. I felt bad for Keith. Yeah. I feel like he made up for it.
That was good. That was a good one. Yeah. Had he hit that in the match, honestly, this would have been probably a little.
But this goes.
I would have much more glowing things to say.
This goes back to the bullshit of not protected finishers. He should have just got the win off the first one that he fucking hit that was perfectly fine. That's his finishing move, is that stupid backhanded fist. He hit one, and instead Bill kicked out at 1. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And had they just ended the match, protected the finisher, let him get the fucking win, honestly, I'd have just been like, it's a 2.5, 3-star match. Now it's like half a star. Like, it was dumb and unnecessary.
Well, much like this very hastily booked feud, so... It was an unmemorable build to something that was just...
But to go into a little more post-match detail, so like Keith comes in to start jumping Kingston, the lights go out, and for a second I was like, oh, is Karrion Kross coming out? Because this is a weird way to bring him into AEW. No, actually, it was Hook. His spotlight hit, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense. They're all from New York. But now this also kind of makes me mad, because this could have been a really cool New York faction with them two and Bill. If Bill wasn't the heel.
That would be a hell of a trios to go for the trios titles.
Yeah, they'd be a New York faction, and they just talk shit, and I'd have been cool with it. But now we just can't like Bill with this group because he's a bad guy and they're good guys. And I'm just like, man, y'all done fucked that up for me. Thanks, guys.
And steady with Brian Keith.
Yeah. So, I guess Hook found his other buddy, or at least one of his other buddies that he's going to hang out with. We'll see how this develops, because,
I don't know how it's like...
It's a really weird pairing, if I'm being honest.
Right.
It's
like hanging out with your older uncle who just happens to also be a pro wrestler.
It's like a kid hanging out with his stupid fucking clown weeble wobble.
They wobble, but they don't fall down.
That's right. That was just me talking shit about Kingston. I actually like Kingston. I've always thought his wrestling was rough. It's not for me. But as a talker, listen. The thing I'm most excited about is putting a mic in this motherfucker's hands.
When he's a little bit smaller of people, so he can do kind of his exploders and stuff like that. He ain't throwing Big Bill around like that, though.
No.
So I understand why it was kind of presented the way it was presented, but if that's the case, book him against somebody else. Why did you need Big Bill to lose this match anyways?
I will say it was really cool seeing Kingston get really emotional in the ring, though. You can actually see him look at the crowd and say, "I missed you guys."
Yeah, he loves what he does.
Oh yeah, he does. And you know he's missed it, especially after thinking he might have, especially after thinking you might have to retire because of everything, and actually just being able to come back. And yeah, he's excited. Match 3, the tables and tacks match, because they shortened thumbtacks for some reason. MJF versus Mark Briscoe. I actually really liked this match. for obvious reasons.
Blood.
Actually, this one wasn't even so much the blood. It was actually watching the thumbtacks mostly stick out of Mark Briscoe's head.
Yeah. He did it to himself too, because when he got dropped on his head, he didn't get dropped anywhere near the tacks. The tacks went into his head when he leaned his head back onto the mat.
Right. Before the match even starts, Bryce has really big gloves on so he could count the pin without being hurt, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah. Max came out with big ass gloves too.
That's how you know Bryce is a bitch. Aubrey wouldn't have had him. She slammed her hand down.
She just slammed her hand into the tacks.
She slammed her hand into some tacks before. She's about it. But nah. So now that I've had my fun talking shit about Bryce, so the match starts with Mark just emptying all the buckets in the middle of the ring because MJF decided he wanted to go outside of the ring instead of actually going to Mark. So Mark said, "Fuck it. I'm just going to dump all of the tacks in the ring." And dude, let me tell you this. I have never in my life seen so many tacks in one place.
You're not wrong. I was hoping for some stray tacks to be left after this match, so Speedball Mike Bailey could have stepped on some when he was wrestling later.
That's okay. He went through some shit. I'm surprised. Like, he's not going to put shoes on, but I feel like he went through some shit in his match where I'm like, man, you probably should just put some shoes on.
Yeah. It probably, yeah. You know what? It's going to take him losing a fucking toe.
That's probably what's going to take it. So we finally get everybody into the ring. They're constantly reversing each other's body slams.
Because nobody wants to go into the tacks.
Yeah. Of course, Mark is the first one that takes a slam into them. And then afterwards...
He took quite a few before MJF took one.
And then after the first slam, MJF scraped Mark's face into the tacks, which was a nice little thing. And I was like, well, he's bleeding. MJF then Alabama slams Mark into the tacks. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Guys, there were so many tacks in this ring that like somebody would get slammed and a layer of tacks would rise up into the air from the bounce in the ring. And it was it was like watching water bounce off of something, right? It was really cool and really weird. So many tacks. So MJF eventually puts tacks in Mark's mouth and then punches him in the face, which comes back in a vignette later.
He pulled one out of his mouth.
Mark takes a back body drop into the tacks twice. And then eventually, Mark finally flips MJF over on a back body drop into the tacks. Mark then sidewalk slams MJF into them. He then flips over the top into Max on the outside through a table. That was a table spot that I forgot that I had wrote out and didn't finish the full thought on. I said, at this point, I did say, I'm just sitting here watching Briscoe walk around with tacks in the back of his fucking head. It's amazing.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. After a powerbomb into the tacks, Briscoe grabs a thumbtack lace chair because he powerbombed MJF into the tacks. He goes out and grabs a thumbtack lace chair. MJF kicks him in the dick and then used the chair on him and then pile drove him onto the chair.
Yep.
MJF then set up a table in the middle of the ring and dumped 2 more bags of thumbtacks on the table because he couldn't just scoop a couple handfuls on there.
No, because you need the visual.
Briscoe gets out of whatever move was going to happen. MJF goes for an avalanche tombstone, which I was worried about.
Because he was way too far from the table.
Yeah, he was. But Briscoe gets out of that as well. Mark goes for the J Driller off the top. MJF gets out of that. And I'm like, y'all are doing way too much on the top of this turnbuckle, and I need y'all to chill. They take turns biting each other at that point. And then Mark hits a froggy bow because he pushes MJ off, and MJF kind of backs up over to the table. He hits a froggy bow that, honestly, I hate when they do moves like that into the table, the way it was standing up.
It was more like a froggy bow crossbody where MJF jumped and they both crashed through the table.
Yeah. And then he hit another froggy bow, and then he ended up doing the J Driller and hit it and got the 1, 2, 3. And I said, yep. I wasn't expecting Mark to win. I'm not mad about it.
We were both wrong on that one.
Yeah, we were both wrong on it. I was just surprised because I was like, I know MJF just lost at the CMLL show.
I didn't think about, well, MJF just got married, so obviously he's going to need to take time off, and this was their way of writing him off TV for a little bit.
Maybe. We'll see. MJF is MJF. That man is married to the game.
That's true. He was back the very next night after getting married.
Yeah, he was. His wife posted on Twitter. She said, we were supposed to go on our honeymoon after Mark died, but I think he might be dead. It's funny. At this point, Taz came out and replaced Shivani on commentary.
And you went, woohoo!
I sure as fuck did. All right, if you want to talk about the tag match here.
So the next match we got, which turned out to be a little better than I thought it was going to be, was Goa, which is the Gates of Agony, with Ricochet versus the Hurt People, the Hurt Syndicate. They hurt people, if you didn't know, which is Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and Montavious. What was his middle name?
Vontel
Porter. MVP. Yeah.
Or no, Montel Vontavious Porter.
Yes, Montel Vontavious Porter. Good memory. So the start of this match was just Ricochet bumping like crazy for everybody, hitting a dive. Ricochet looked really good at first. He was making people look good.
There's that spot that I absolutely loved where Ricochet came in and flexed on Lashley.
Yeah, did you see him swell up? Had his lats and shit all out.
He swelled up and then started punching Lashley in the stomach, and Lashley just stood there and looked at him like, really?
Yeah, he just... It was weird because Ricochet looked both strong and like a nerd in this match. So it's still confusing to me. I hate the way they're booking him. But...
He didn't take a bald spot that I remember.
No. He, well, I mean, they won. So, spoilers. But Lashley gets in, like you was saying. Lashley starts just throwing him around. Shelton came in, got his stuff in, hit a bunch of high knees.
Little Zeus.
Right. The match was the first one that was not overly booked, and we didn't have a bunch of crazy finishes. Eventually, they kind of isolate MVP. MVP got hit with the spirit gun and took the L like we kind of predicted he would.
Yep.
All in all, this was supposed to give the shine to Goa. I don't know if it quite did that.
It gave the shine to Ricochet. That's about it.
They won.
Yeah.
Nobody looked bad in this.
Oh, Ricochet had that one spot that was killer, dude, where he ran and dove over the corner turnbuckle.
Oh, yeah, and he dove over the post and everything to the outside and knocked out, I think it was Lashley. And
it was Lashley Shelton.
Yeah, that's what separated MVP from the rest of them, as he hit that big dive.
Because it was It was just after. What was going to happen was we were going to get a spot where.
Lashley was going to spear him through the timekeeper's area.
Yeah, he's going to spear him through a barricade, which I don't think I've ever seen them do in AEW.
Oh,
I could be wrong.
Have. Oh yeah, they have.
Like I said, I don't, and they might have, and I might have seen it, and I just don't remember it. I'm getting old, guys.
Or I could have just seen it so much in WWE and just assumed it was there. Who knows?
Either way, I definitely know Lashley hasn't done it in AEW yet. So I was excited to see him do it, and then it got stopped. And then, like I said, Ricochet flew over the top of that fucking turnbuckle dude and took him out. And I was like, that was actually really fucking dope.
Yeah, but he's good at that stuff.
Yeah, he is. Oh, MVP was going for that stupid finisher that I thought he found a different. That's what got him caught up. He was going for the most worthless finisher ever. Like I thought he found something new.
That I can't. The playmaker. That's what it's called. The playmaker.
Yeah, it's the worst finishing move, and it like you had the chance to have apparently two of the top three worst finishing moves in the same match. Because don't forget, Goa's stupid ass tag team finisher could have been in this match too.
Oh shit, that made me laugh. The good one of the good finishers got hit.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's still too close to Will Ospreay's move.
Yeah. So I get to talk about this match. Yay.
And you can talk about the triple threat if you want.
Yeah, please do, because I was not a fan. Now I didn't hate this match. Don't get me wrong, but
it wasn't. It was better than I thought it was going to be. So we got Riho versus Monet. So Riho took quite a bit of this match. Like Monet was bumping forward, trying to put the shine on her and make her look good. She kept double stomping Monet in the abdomen, and they looked like legit jump off. She jumped off the top rope and did it, and then she jumped off she jumped off the top rope and double stomped her in the gut. Then Monet rolled to the outside, and then she jumped on the announce table and jumped off of it and double stomped her on the floor. Like if I was Monet, I'd be getting receipts.
Oh, and she wasn't done with the double stomps either. This woman had an obsession this match.
Two other damn times. She hit a crucifix bomb for a near fall. Monet hit a nice superplex and then picked her up and did the Three Amigos right after, holding on from the superplex. That was a pretty good spot. Mercedes gave and Mercedes has been doing this a lot lately, where she's given 70% of the match to the babyface.
Right.
And I guess that's kind of heel babyface booking, but it just looks a little crazy. Eventually, she hits an eye gouge on Riho when the ref's not looking. Then she hit something called a lung blower, and then she hit the moneymaker for the win.
Listen.
The lung blower is essentially a tombstone position into a gut buster.
I would rather the lung blower be her finishing move than that stupid ass finisher she does have.
Well, she can't do that to everybody, but you're right. The moneymaker looks terrible.
I was gonna say she can't do the moneymaker to everybody either.
I know, but that's why she's got the bank statement or the money statement or whatever Monet statement.
I hate the moneymaker so much, dude. I've hated it ever since I saw her do it in New Japan. I was like,
yeah, I don't get it. It looks very awful. It never looks impactful.
It's almost as bad as the playmaker.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say the playmaker's better than it.
No,
because at least the playmaker, there's impact.
No, there's not. You just get dizzy. That's about it.
Well, there's impact. You land on the back of their calf.
Yeah, no, that's not impact.
It's better than her just flipping you around and you just kind of falling onto your face.
So the way she did it to Riho is how I think she's supposed to do it. Because I will say this, she DDT'd Riho out of it.
Well, that's what she's supposed to do, but it never looks like she gets a full DDT on anybody.
But I think, again, that is the one benefit to wrestling somebody that's like 4'3".
Well, the other thing is, too, the camera people, knowing that she's not going to be able to get that move most of the time, should shoot it from the other side.
Yeah.
So it at least looks like it does.
But yeah, I just thought it was an extremely just mediocre match. Mercedes has had better matches like the last 4 or 5 pay-per-views.
Well, if you're looking for mediocre women's matches, this was the show for you.
Yeah. So now for my match of the night, actually.
My match of the night was FTR and CNC. This was a really good match.
Listen, I am disliking Okada more and more as a wrestler as he continues to wrestle.
I thought Okada was really good in this match, though.
I didn't. I thought he was really boring. I thought the match was mostly.
That's Okada, though.
I thought the match was mostly just good because of Takeshita and Dorada.
Dorada got a lot of offense in.
Dorada killed it in this match. Like, so here's the thing. Dorada, I usually expect to hit a couple botched moves, but he was on point.
He was flawless here. He was flawless tonight.
I
was waiting around for a botch, and we didn't get one. So
no. So yeah, no. I thought. Now here's the thing. Okada didn't do terrible. I just find him mostly boring, right?
He is very low effort most of the time, so I can understand that.
Especially when you compare now to what he used to do in New Japan, it's frustrating as a fan. But yeah, so Dorada has.
Okada is a big show wrestler.
Right.
The rest of the time in New Japan, when he didn't have like big singles matches, he wrestled in a bunch of stable tag matches. And he wrestled like this, where it was just kind of ho-hum.
Right. But yeah, so Dorada has most of the offense early on. I was like, didn't have any botches. We get a stare down at one point between Okada and Takeshita, where Okada ends up gouging his eyes.
Don Callis was on commentary trying to just make it seem like just the spirit of competition.
Right. Dorada ended up hitting this really cool double Hurricanrana.
Yep, off the top.
Off the top rope. I thought it was pretty fun. The Japanese guys finally take out Dorada for a bit, and then they go at it. At some point, just for Joe, they started trading punches between the 3 of them.
Yeah, I know. I said, fuck my life in my notes. I said, 3-way elbow exchange. This is my hell.
Dorada did hit this really cool DDT to Okada on the apron.
Yep.
That was really fun. And yeah, Okada ends up winning with the Rainmaker on Dorada.
Yeah, it was a great match. We kind of undersold it, how great it was.
Yeah, no, it was so the problem is, and this is the one problem I have with luchador matches, because I love luchadors, guys. I really do. And Dorada was like 70% of the offense of this entire match.
Yep.
But my problem is...
Got the least amount of offense out of all of them.
If you guys... Like, for those of you that watch Lucha Libre Wrestling, you should know when they get going, they just fucking go. And, like, sitting here trying to type out, like, every major thing they do since it's not an actual Lucha match, everything feels major that he does. So then you have to be selective about what's being done. And like I said, he got most of the offense. So there was a lot more. Like, he did a bunch of, like...
he did a flipping spinny dive where he dove over and spun.
So funny enough, this is Mascara Dorada 2.0. Do you remember? Do you know who Mascara Dorada 1 was?
Nope.
Grand Metalik. So Grand Metalik.
Where the hell's he now?
Over in WWE.
Grand Metalik.
He eventually left WWE.
Well, I knew that much.
And then he became Mascara Dorada. And then wrestled as Mascara Dorada for a while. And then eventually decided to retire from that name and now wrestles as just Metalik.
Okay.
He has had a couple of matches in the past in AEW as Metalik.
Okay.
But they were on Dark Elevation.
Nothing wrong with that.
And now he hasn't been seen since like 2023 in AEW, so it is what it is. But yeah,
so he's probably still wrestling in Japan in Mexico.
Yeah, he's doing Mexican indies. So yeah, that's where Metallic is.
Somebody should sign that man. He's good.
I think he is good too. I'd love to see him anywhere, honestly.
He was good in WWE, and they don't even really wrestle that style.
No. But yeah, that was my match of the night. I'll go ahead and talk about this one because you didn't want to talk about this one.
I sure the fuck didn't.
Match 7, coffin match, Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. Darby jumped Mox early in the crowd, and they tried to kill each other out there. Shortly into the match, Darby chews on Mox's ear because he thinks he's Mike Tyson. And then Tope unalives Mox into the casket that Mox set up, which I thought was a fun little move. At one point, Mox is tossing Darby onto some shit, and the rest of the Death Riders come out to interfere and do their bullshit, but Mox sends his troops back to the back. I was like, hey, that's the most noble thing I think he's ever done. So he kicked his team out.
For now.
Darby comes back, stabs Mox several times in that big old head of his with a fork.
Yeah, that is a spot they are getting a little too accustomed to.
My favorite part of the match was Daniel Bryan going, I'm trying to be objective, but fuck that. Get him in the coffin, Darby. Let's go.
Yeah.
I was like, they just let this man say fuck that on fucking TV. That's on pay-per-view.
It's a pay-per-view.
So it was a good time. I wonder if he's going to get in trouble for it, though.
I doubt
it. Darby then forks his ear and bites it again. I said, calm down, Tyson. Mox then hits the paradigm shift, that I hate the way it's spelled, because I always want to say paradigm. The paradigm shift onto the coffin. I said, I feel like Sting might be in the other coffin. I was wrong. Brian eventually hands Darby a bag, which I'm guessing this is what he whispered about in Darby's ear. He handed Darby a bag that was carrying a plastic bag in it, and Darby starts to suffocate Mox. Darby then does the kicking in the head spot that Daniel Bryan used to do to people. The stomps into the back of the head or front of the head, depending on how they were laying. Crowd starts chanting, "This is murder," which I thought was amazing. Pac comes back, and let me tell you the amount of confusion that happened when he came out. Because...
Tell him what you told me.
Pac has short hair now, and I thought somehow, some way, Jamie Noble had come to AEW, even though I had just seen this motherfucker on SmackDown. So, like, I'm really confused because it looked just like Jamie Noble, and I'm like, what?
He looks goofy as AF, man.
Yeah, no, he needs to grow his hair back out.
I don't know why he thought cutting his hair was a good idea. He looks rough.
Honestly, I should have known it was Pac with the way that he was catching some wind with those ears getting into the ring. But, like, I don't know, dude. The facial hair, the hairstyle, dude. Immediately I just saw Jamie Noble.
And the goatee and the short hair, I can understand. Pac always had long hair. And it was to keep his hair down to cover those giant ass ears of his.
Yeah.
I wonder what changed.
And here's what makes me even more mad. He didn't come out in his tights. I think it's the first time this man hasn't wore tights on fucking camera.
You're not wrong. He always has tights on. Dude, do you remember the vignettes when he was walking around the streets of London? He had his tights on then.
Well,
when he was in the little alley and shit.
So there's that. Or anytime they would do Death Riders interviews in the back, and it would be like, they would pull up in the truck and everybody would get out. So, like, everybody gets out and they're all in blue jeans and, like, fucking wife beaters and stuff. And Pac gets out and he's just in his fucking tights. And you're like, does this man ever get dressed?
It's the Full Gear segment from BTE, which you're not going to understand. But he always wears his gear. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably another reason I was confused. Because had he come out in his gear, I'd have just known. Oh, it's Pac. But no.
Right? Black trunks and giant arms for such a short man. Yep, that's Pac.
Crowd starts chanting, "He's the bastard," which is amazing. Yep. Pac ends up putting Darby in a body bag, and then they put him in the coffin, and Mox kicks the coffin closed for the win. I said I got this pick wrong. but I'm gonna get a pick wrong. This is how I want to be wrong with it.
All right. I won both shows tonight.
Yeah, you did. You're kicking my ass overall. Look, I took the first one. That's all that matters.
You keep saying that.
But no, yeah, I was happy to see Pac back. If this means Pac is going to be healthy enough to wrestle again, at least until he gets injured in the next 3 weeks.
I hope not. He's had such bad luck. He's such a good wrestler, and they need good wrestlers right now.
Yeah, they do. And he is a banger.
They don't necessarily need heels, but
listen, at some
we're
point,
also getting OC back apparently too. So
at some point, I'm pretty sure we're just going to get the Death Riders versus the Don Callis family.
I could care less about any of that, but
and the Bucks will be confused because they won't know where to go.
Right, because they've worked with both of them.
Like you only have two big stables in the damn company, and both of them are heel stables.
Yep. Well, you got the conglomeration; they're baby faces.
Listen, I don't even try to remember they exist.
Members of that group that don't want to be members of that group.
I don't even want to be a viewer of that group specifically. Like,
I don't blame you.
To be fair, I'm not a fan of any of their stables as a whole right now. I'm struggling with the Callis family. I'm struggling with the Death Riders. I'm struggling with the conglomeration. I don't care.
Any match, any group that has hologram in it, count me out.
I don't follow the same hologram hate that you do. I like hologram, but I'm not looking forward to evil hologram probably also being in the Don Callis family. I don't need this shit in my life.
Oh God, you're probably right.
Just wait. Backstage, the conglomeration are celebrating all of their wins, and we find out that it's going to be a 6-man match: Don Callis family versus Hologram, Mark Briscoe, and then like Kyle O'Reilly's on the phone. And did you notice that? I think Jay yelled Kyle's name like he was Roddy.
And Roddy in the background was just shaking his head.
And Kyle looks over and he's like, "Is he gonna be ready?" And he says, he just kind of gives his thumb up a little bit and he shakes his head, and immediately, like, you know.
Yeah, he gave the Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
It's OC. Orange Cassidy's coming back, which honestly, it's a great time for it to happen.
Yeah, they need baby faces.
Yeah, I'm excited for Orange Cassidy coming back. Honestly,
I am too.
He's a
maybe
hell
he
of
put some weight on. Maybe he'll be a little jacked coming back.
I doubt it. Don't get your hopes up.
I do too, but working on one's physique's not a bad thing.
Look, we got lucky that Kingston didn't come back as fat as when he left. Okay, like he's still fat. Don't get me wrong.
He's not on the sauce either, though.
No,
good for him.
Or
at least we don't think.
Yeah, he gets on the sauce just so it helps him eat more. He's like, I just got all this energy to eat now. No, because then he'd come in looking like Viscera. So, yeah, I guess you have this other women's match that pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm the women's match specialist here tonight. Match whatever number this is now. I'm not even going to try to count.
Match 8.
Got the 4-way. We've got Tekla versus Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander versus Tony Storm. Wheeler Yuta's out again to chat with Stat and get in her ear. She looks annoyed. They start the match. Eventually, Tony has a spot where she kicks Tekla right in the right in the crotch. That I laughed.
There was one part, I think it was a little bit earlier than that, I had in my notes. I didn't write down the whole sequence, but there's a part where Statlander was climbing out of the ropes, and Tekla came from out of fucking nowhere and booted her right in the fucking head.
The more I see Tekla, the more I dislike her.
No, see, I'm the opposite. I thought she did really good this match.
I need to see her in more singles matches. I'm tired of seeing her in all these multi-person matches. Even if this is kind of a 1v1v1v1.
Right.
I need something that I can concentrate on her work.
Well, I told you from the beginning, I don't think she should have been in this match. I don't think she's been around long enough.
I don't think at least 2 of these people should have been in this match.
And one of those people won the championship.
Yeah, so let's just get to that.
Oh, Lord. Yeah,
because the rest of this match really doesn't matter. Let's go to the no build.
Oh, hold on.
Sudden shocker.
Hold on. There is something that needs to be mentioned, and it's something Tekla did. She whipped the shit
with that belt
out of like 2 people with her belt.
One was Stat, the other was Hater, I believe.
Oh yeah, she was laying it in too. I felt bad for Stat, dude.
They were loud.
I was gonna say the ones she got on Hater weren't as bad, but the first couple hits to Stat, I was like, oh, that sucks. All right, go ahead. That was the only other note I think I had. Oh no, look, you're skipping over the whole match. So there's also this part. Most of my cool things actually were me talking about something Tekla did or received.
Imagine that.
Tekla goes to do her spider crawl, and Tony sneaks up behind her and goes, "I hate bugs," and stomps the shit out of her mid spider crawl. And I was like, it's amazing.
Yeah, most of my hate for this match is due to the finish. So,
but yeah, go ahead.
So essentially, and to be fair, she did pin the champion. So I will say there's that, but essentially Stat does the seatbelt pin to pin Toni Storm to win the belt. Everybody looks shocked. Here's my problem. I don't care that Toni Storm loses the title. Wrestlers lose titles all the time. But for her to lose the title with no build, with this not being a huge match, with it being a multi-person match, why? If you wanted Statlander to be the champion, why didn't you just book Statlander strong to then beat the champion?
Yeah, so...
You just had Toni beat the 2 most protected women in the company. Straight up, no fuss, clean as a whistle.
Yep. So, here's the thing.
And now you have her lose to Statlander.
There are 2 things to always take into consideration. 3 things to always take into...
Yeah, the post-match build.
Well...
Whatever that is going to be.
No. So there's always 3 things to consider when deciding the outcome of a match. The history of how we got here. Who's winning, and how they win. And my problem isn't any one of those specific. It's kind of a combination of all of them, right? So, and I mentioned this to you. I mentioned this on Twitter. Here's the thing I want you guys to understand. I like Stat.
I do too. I'm pretty sure during our prediction thing, I said if Toni doesn't win, the only other person who probably would was Stat.
Well, I thought it was going to be Hater, because Hater's the one that lost it to Toni. So
no, I think if they were going to book that, it would have been a one-on-one.
So here's where all of this kind of hits for me. So I mentioned on Twitter, and I mentioned to you by showing you what I posted on Twitter, where the first part of my issue is you are now telling me, right, that we passed up on Athena winning the championship, and we passed up on Monet winning the championship so that Stat could fucking win it. And that sounds extremely demeaning, and I understand that. And it should, because it is. Because it doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things. Right now, you've done
nothing.
And a part of that is on Toni. You've done nothing in the last 6 months to build Stat up in a way to make me feel like she's world championship material. Here's the thing.
Yep.
I know
she's been in a comedy. She's been in a comedy gimmick with Harley.
Right. I know.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I know she's talented enough in the ring to be a champion. But I want to give you guys some just a quick thought. We watched Chris Statlander lose her TBS title in a no one interfered, no one got in the way of things. It was just a straight up loss to Julia Hart.
Yep.
And you're sitting here
as your world champion
and telling me that she is now your world champion. And here's the thing, you guys need to understand, I love Julia Hart. She is one of my favorite women's wrestlers in AEW. But she's not
all gimmick and intro.
She was not ready for that for that TBS run. First and
she
foremost,
was all gimmick and an intro.
And she definitely shouldn't be beating Stat, but she did. And now you're trying to tell me that I'm supposed to believe that Stat is good enough to be world champion right now when you haven't done anything to build her up as a person who feels like they could be a champion. Second off, how she won. You actually let her win clean. Like, if it would have been something where Wheeler Yuta would have come out and caused some sort of distraction or something like that, at least at that point, right?
You protected your champion.
I'm like...
who has beaten everybody.
Right. At least at that point, even if she didn't want the help, and she just capitalized on it, right? And you could even build that into a story somehow, if you want. But you don't even go that route. It's literally like she just won clean with Wheeler Yuta's move. Like, and that's it.
Yep.
So that doesn't make any sense. And honestly, I'm gonna be real with all y'all. I was so deflated, I didn't even start taking notes or paying attention to the next match until after it was like half over. Because I was sitting here thinking and reading on Twitter to see if anybody else was as annoyed as I was. And guess what? Apparently, we're in the minority on this.
Yeah, everybody loves it.
Everybody loves it.
I don't get it.
But I'm supposed to believe this alien is a fucking champ. Anyways, well,
now she's from New York. She's not from the Andromeda system anymore.
Yeah, whatever. It was stupid back then. Now she's impressed me since. So like when I first started watching,
she's a good worker. There's nothing wrong with her work.
Right.
This is a booking thing. This isn't I'm mad that Statlander beat Tony Storm. This is I'm mad they beat it with no build and no build up to make Stat a bigger star.
And I also want you guys to know, like, this isn't me hating on Stat. Like, I am happy for Stat. I'm just not happy about the decision that had been made. Like
now, but it's now instead of she's a star who's a champion, now she's a wrestler who beat the star to be an unlikely champion.
Right. And somebody has said, well, maybe she's going to be the placeholder champ, and this is who Monet beats for the title. And I'm like, I hope not.
I hope not either, because then that cheapens her win here, and then it cheapens Tony's loss.
But I don't know what they do.
It becomes even worse of a booking decision.
But I don't know what they do. Like, the only thing I can think of that they want to build up for, if I'm being honest, it'll probably happen. She's been trying to rebuild her whole friendship with Willow. Willow's been pretty much unwilling.
Has she, though? I know Harley's been trying to get her to rebuild it.
Willow has... Well, Stat tried to rebuild it originally before Harley was around. We're talking months ago. And Willow wanted nothing to do with her. So then she, like, disappeared and fucked off to do whatever she was doing. They went their separate ways to do whatever they were doing. And now Harley is trying to get them all back together and to be on good terms. And again, nobody trusts Stat. And that's kind of what they're going with right now.
Well, that's what they've been going with for weeks, because she still has all that involvement with the Death Riders. This, with her winning with his move, isn't going to decrease that.
No, and that's not where I was going with this. So, the only thing I could think of is, now that she's the champion, she's going to have something else in between her and being able to regain her friendship with Willow, specifically. I don't think she cares much about anyone else, because Willow was her, like, best friend, right?
Sure.
So, now we're going to have a world championship that's going to be in the divide for them. And Willow's obviously, I think they're going to set up if I had to guess, it'll probably be Stat and Willow at whatever the next at whatever the next pay-per-view is. Now here's where this becomes a problem. What do you do with the rest of the women? Because it is hard for me to think about what you do with Tony outside of a world title picture.
Yeah, she has no grudge feud to go in as like a distraction thing.
Do you make
Unless
her go?
she just goes away for a while. Maybe she's due for some time off.
Do you go with her slowly slipping into crazy? Because she played crazy at the end of the match pretty well, where she was shocked.
They just did that with her and what's her face though.
Yeah, but they did that as her acting like that. She wasn't actually shocked. Like, she turned it into an angle where she was acting as her old self with amnesia. It's still weird. But I just don't know. Because then you still have... like, obviously, Monet is going to have her TBS stuff. But who does she even go after now? Like, I was actually hoping for a debut or two tonight on the women's side of things.
Who's out there that would be a needle mover,
though? Dakota Kai.
I said a needle mover.
Dakota Kai.
We differ on that. I like Dakota Kai. I think she's really good. And I think she's like TBS challenging material, but not necessarily legit legit world championship contender right from the jump.
So the problem is there is no such thing as a needle mover to that grand extent if you're not a Cody Rhodes, right? Or like a Roman Reigns or something like that. Unless they...
Well, I mean needle mover and not necessarily the legit sense of needle moving. Like a legit person you can say, okay, they can come in and immediately win the world title. There is nobody. WWE's got everybody locked up.
Right. I mean, like I said, I just expected someone to show up. I don't... It could have been Dakota.
I wish somebody would have showed up.
It could have been Shayna. I don't know.
Shayna Baszler, that's interesting.
I just wanted something. And all we got was this really weird clean win by somebody that probably wasn't expected by anybody. And it literally... there's nothing that annoys me more than the win just because they can moment in wrestling. Right? Like, I feel like there just has to be a reason that there is a win. I know that probably sounds weird. I have said before that, like, oh man, I wish like titles changed hands more on like, you know, regular TV shows, and I do. But even then, there's still reasons why they change hands, and it's not just because the other person got lucky tonight and they snuck a win out there. That's not AEW 4-way tag ladder match for the tag team titles. Brodito versus Josh Alexander and Hechicero versus Young Bucks versus Jet Speed.
It's your spot monkey match of the night.
Yeah. I didn't take a whole lot of notes for this match. This was the one that I told you
so
I'd space.
I will handle this then.
I spaced out and was so shocked by the women's match that I couldn't zone back in on this match.
All right, I took quite a bit of notes. We start the match with a lot of nice Young Bucks double team spots. There was a terrible attempt at a 4-person German where Brody King was going to throw 4 people over his shoulder in a German. It was sloppy AF. He got him over though. Moonsault on a ladder by it says Bailey. That doesn't sound right.
I guess we did get somebody else from the WWE show up. Let's go.
Who? What?
You said Bailey.
Oh, Bailey. I meant Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh, other Bailey.
Yeah, there's actually a Bailey in this match. I'm not that much of an idiot.
Listen, I am.
Oh, yeah, because he just did a moonsault onto a ladder. Oh, yes. Now I'm remembering the match. The Don Callis family and the Young Bucks teamed up temporarily to take out the other teams. They eventually turned on each other. There was a fun little spot where there was two people in electric chair situations where they had a hockey fight on top of each other's shoulders. There was a huge spot fest where there were multiple tables and ladders breaking. The Bucks, Nick did a swanton through a table on one side. Matt did an elbow drop on the other side. Kevin Knight did a splash on the other, and then Brody King did that.
Brody Bomb is what I call it, but it's not what it's called.
Through a ladder.
Listen, I am pretty sure. So I tuned back in when the Jacksons tried to run up the ladder after they basically betrayed Hechicero and
the Don Callis
family. And one of my first notes was, I think Speedball might have almost died.
Right.
But yeah, I remember that part.
Bandito did a moonsault with a ladder in his hand to take a bunch of people out.
Did you mention the spot where
Mike about tore his leg up?
No, where the guys were all climbing the ladder. So Brody King had
picked it, moved it.
No, Brody King had Bandito up on his shoulders as like he was the ladder.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. There was a spot also where Kevin Knight was on the top of the ladder trying to get the belt, and everybody came in and picked the ladder up and moved it towards the one side of the ring, and then dumped him outside to go through two tables.
Yeah, fantastic time.
Let's see, what else was there? Mike Bailey had who did he have on the ladder with him? He was doing his stupid moonsault. I think it was Bandito he had on the ladder. He was trying to do his moonsault knee drop thing on a person on a ladder, and they were too close, and he totally missed them and about tore his whole damn leg up going through the ladder.
It was Hechicero because he need Hechicero in the face when he did it.
Oh, it was Hechicero. You're right.
Because I said
it was the other Lucha Libre.
I said Speedball might have almost killed Hechicero.
Yeah, he overshot his head. He like grazed his head, but he completely overshot him and like all through the damn table. It was a wicked, ugly spot. I wouldn't have been surprised had Mike Bailey really hurt himself, but he didn't. He got up and did the rest of the match, but it was an ugly spot.
Right.
Nevertheless, Brodito wins. Bandito took both titles off, and they're the winner.
So
you want to talk about the post-match? Because you're going to be more excited about it than I.
I will in a second. So somebody had mentioned they don't care if it's WWE or AEW, and I told them it couldn't happen in WWE because of how they do their tag title ladder matches now. But I've had this thought before where I thought it would be cool that if you're somebody that has to take both tag titles down, I always thought it would be interesting for one person to grab a tag title from one team and another tag team person pull it down from another team, and now they're stuck being a team together.
That would be awkward.
But I think it'd be fun. It could be used for some fun storytelling for a short time. Like it happens, because it's never happened before.
You would have to do it on us, and here's where it would make the most sense, right? Like, say the titles are vacant, and you're doing it, and you put like a 6-person tag team thing in there,
right?
And then that's the like stipulation that like both members of the team have to get a title,
right? Or
that
if you have the right, if
you
have the right teams, it could work, because it could be used as some slight dissension where, say it's somebody that's with a team and his teammate's like, I don't see why you don't just vacate it and let them pick their teammate or whatever so that we can go back to doing what we're doing. And then the other guy's just so greedy enough that he's like, but I'm the champ. Like Edge and Christian. If Christian were to get it, I could see him being like
a Carmelo Hayes and Miz situation.
Like I could see him being like, if it was Cope and Christian, him telling Cope, I'm the champ. Why would I give this up?
Right.
So you'd have to have...
He's an asshole.
you'd have to have the right people.
Sure.
Now, with that being said, I was both excited and bummed all at the same time. So, I told the future almost exactly. Just I didn't have the right date or the exact right scenario. But so the Bucks are in the ring. I don't remember. Do the lights go out or does he just slide in?
No, the lights went out.
Okay. So the lights go out, and then they come back on, and Jack Perry is standing behind the Bucks, and they turn around, and he's like pointing at him and saying some shit, and then he just attacks him. And he starts to get the upper, or they start to get the upper hand, and as they get the upper hand, he smiles because they're about to do the BTE trigger to him, and he just smiles and looks up, and the lights go out again, and they go into the vignette. If you guys remember when Killswitch first came back, they did the little vignette of him being on like an operating table, and he shoots up and he growls, and then that's how they brought him back to team with Kip Sabian. What happened here is we showed the full vignette, which was actually Jack Perry digging up a grave, tying it to the back of his truck, riding down the road, and then hooking Killswitch, who is who he dug up to this table and bringing him back to life. So you get the full vignette that we didn't get, that we obviously didn't know wasn't the full one anyways. So yeah, they use it, and it's basically their storytelling way of being like, hey, this is why he's not getting along with Kip Sabian and them, because they weren't the ones that brought him back. It was Jack Perry. Now, with that being said, you had a really cool moment where Jack Perry like points to his belt, and Killswitch takes off the Killswitch belt, throws it out to the crowd, which I was really...
Yeah, I was like, he's wearing his Killswitch gear. This makes no damn sense.
Which I was actually fearing for whoever might catch the buckle to the face.
That's what I did too. Me and Kristen were talking. We were like, oh, please don't throw it at some kid's head.
But yeah, so... it's hard to breathe. Sorry, guys. So, like, he takes off the Killswitch belt, throws it into the crowd. I was like, all right, cool. And then they ruined it in 5 seconds just by playing the stupid Jungle Boy theme song that I hate. I hate it. Like, what I wanted was for them to be...
I loved it, though.
What I want... I don't fuck the crowd, dude. They also like yeeting. I don't care.
You want them to be a serious team, and they're going to be a comedy team again.
Like, they could be heel comedy. Like, you can still do comedy, but I don't need you riding around on his goddamn shoulders. Like...
I hate it, too.
Like, as soon as they played the music, like, I felt like I had just been broken up with by my woman after being with her for 7 years. Like, it wasn't that bad. Now I'm exaggerating.
You were feeling big sad.
But I was pissed. I was like, no, dude, like, you guys have the opportunity for them to be a really cool, and you ain't even got to be full heel. You could be a tweener.
Which is what, just a more serious team.
Right.
I don't even need them. They can be baby faces. That's fine. Just more serious than the former gimmick. And it seems like they're kind of leaning heavy on nostalgia in the previous gimmick.
We'll have to see what happens, because I just... Listen, realistically, I cannot see Jack Perry just going back
to loincloth Jack Perry.
Yeah.
To Jungle Jack, as JR would call him.
I can't. It doesn't, like, after everything that has happened, I
hope not either.
I don't...
More serious presentation.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. I actually thought, outside of the stupid scapegoat shit that he tried to run with, I actually liked more serious Jack Perry as a wrestler more.
Yeah.
The man just doesn't have very much on-screen charisma. So
Nope, he sure doesn't.
it'll be cool because like he's gonna be with his buddy who can like yell at the screen like he does. You know, he growls, ah, whatever. But I don't know. I don't want them like I don't need another Festus and what's the other dude's name?
I don't remember. I just remember their theme song,
Biscuits and gravy. Yeah. You know, I don't know. We'll see. I was so disappointed in the stupid Jungle Boy theme though. Like I was so excited, and then the music hit.
I'm hoping they just did it for the pop.
I hope so too, because like they played the music and I went, ugh.
The crowd was into it though. They were waving their hands side to side.
But I will let you actually. I'll let you talk about one of the better matches of the night, in my opinion. I actually thought this was a really good match. Go ahead.
But I just did the other match.
I gotta breathe. Oh, actually, before we go, Mox.
I say there was a segment.
Gives a eulogy to Darby in the back, and then he tells everybody to dip. And after he tells everybody to dip and they all drive off, Darby jumps out of the casket and bashes him in the head with a fucking pipe. And he tried to put Mox in the bag, but Mox's big ass head wouldn't fit in it. So he basically says screw it and douses the bag in lighter fluid, and then takes one of those charcoal grill lighters and lights him on fire, and then proceeds to spray more lighter fluid on him, and then really got mad. Obviously didn't really get mad, but got on TV mad when somebody came and put him out.
Somebody who came very quickly and who was clearly holding a fire extinguisher off camera.
Yeah.
Because it was really quick.
Yeah, it was. Hopefully he didn't actually sustain any real damage there. Hopefully they knew what they were doing.
No, it was. I would hope it was gimmicked.
I don't know, dude. It's Mox.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Just light me on fire. I'll be all right. That was the most Vince McMahon sounding I've ever been. Anyways, yeah. Now you can talk about this while I blow my nose.
All right, the main event of the show: Hangman Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher. Hangman was up early on Fletch. Fletcher was bumping like crazy for Hangman there at the beginning. Eventually, Fletcher does take control. He powerbombed Hangman on the apron. Then it started kind of going back and forth. Hangman hit a moonsault to the floor. Pop-up powerbomb, then a pop-up Liger bomb. Kyle eventually comes back around, hits a huge set-out powerbomb. They fought on the floor a lot. Hangman catches catches Kyle on a tombstone on the floor. There was a draping DDT onto the floor, also by Kyle. Brainbuster through the timekeeper's table. This is where Fletcher kind of took over and was up for most of the end of the match until the very end. Another brainbuster in the ring. He was working on Hangman's neck the whole match, like stomping him in the neck. He took his kinetic tape off, just like really neck heavy offense. They beat the dog shit out of each other.
He did so well selling that neck that Cena went ahead and picked it up later and was selling it for him as well. It was really cool.
Let's see. Hangman hit a dead eye through the table. They had a table set up on the outside. He hit a dead eye off the apron through the table.
Am I the only one that gets really nervous anytime he hits one of these dead eyes, like off the top rope or some shit?
You should, because that's the next note I have. So the finish of the match was a top rope dead eye, followed by a buckshot for the win. So Hangman won. Kyle did look really good. Kyle at times looked a little too cocky, like he was wasting too much time. It looked like he could have had it won at several points, but I don't think this told us anything we didn't already know. We already knew Kyle Fletcher was going to be a star. He did kind of get the shine of this match. Hangman didn't by any means look lesser than, but
right.
Kyle took probably 60% of the match, but didn't get the win. They did not interfere, so no Don Callis interference, so that was good. I just don't know where you go with Kyle after this, because you've kind of ascended him, and now he has to go kind of back to the mid-card to do the TNT title thing.
Right.
I think it was a gift and a curse.
I don't know what you do either.
You feud him with Mark Briscoe.
Please don't.
I know. I hope not.
One of the things I wrote in this, because again, I did have a lot of notes for this match. This is the match where Danielson went full JR.
Oh yeah, he was hopping out of his seat. Him and Don Callis both were kind of like standing. They like caught him on camera standing next to each other, kind of like hopped up, all excited.
It's so Callis always cracks me up because he will give compliments where compliments are due, and it's so weird for a heel to do that to me. It's weird to me that a heel will do that because like. Again,
he does it in a way to also put his guy over too.
Yes, but again, it's just not what I'm used to. So heel managers will typically do anything to make excuses or down somebody else. I mean, just look at Heyman.
He's like the opposite. He praises the babyface, so when his guy looks strong against him, it makes his guy look better.
Right.
It's kind of smart, actually.
It really is. And like I said, my comparison's like to Paul Heyman. Like every time Paul Heyman jumps from one guy to the next, he finds a way to absolutely shit on the last one. But Callis is all about making his people look better by building up the face to make his people look better, and it's just weird.
Yep.
Callis looked so disappointed when they immediately went to him after that bell rung.
Yep, and he looked sad panda.
Which made me happy. So, that's Dynamite. Dear God, that was not Dynamite. That's all out. Now shifting to WrestlePalooza, so I'm going to go ahead and let you cover the first match because I didn't watch it. For those of you that don't know,
go ahead.
I pushed to start from the beginning. I seen Triple H coming out to talk, and I had already seen him do this once for Netflix, so I started fast forwarding because I didn't care.
Yeah, I don't care about corporate shill. Paul out there bragging about ESPN. It was a 12-minute segment between all the ESPN bullshit, his thing, and getting to the first entrances. So that time for that shit.
Like that happened. I fast forwarded up until I saw a car driving in because then I was like, oh, backstage segment already. And it was Pat McAfee getting out of a truck with Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know why I said Halliburton. And I was like, oh, jokingly, I knew it wasn't going to happen. I was like, oh, Tyrese is going to commentate. Cool. No.
He was on the pre-show, apparently.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because they mentioned it during the broadcast.
Because again, guys, this is in Indianapolis. This is where we live. Yep. I just wasn't going to spend the insane amount of money to go to the show. Because
and watch a very mediocre show.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So Tyrese is there. Him and Pat dap it down. They go their separate ways. Immediately, Triple H struggles Pat McAfee.
Snuggle struggles.
Out of nowhere, dude. Like I thought he was still walking to the back. Apparently, it didn't take him long. He got that Vince McMahon walk down. Dude booked it. But yeah, Pat McAfee comes out and he's commentating. That actually made me happy as well. because he's not been there for a long time, and I actually really like Pat McAfee's energy.
Yeah, he didn't take from the show like he usually does. Like, I think not seeing him for a while certainly helped.
Here's the thing: I don't expect him to stick around permanently. I'm pretty sure he was just there
He's
because
not. He's got College Game Day plus his show plus a bunch of other stuff.
It's an indie. He's home.
Exactly. He lives here. This is where he operates, so that's why he was here.
And before we get into the match, I would just like to say how cool it was I got to actually see both indie designs for John Cena's merch, because we got to see the Colts one at the Royal Rumble and the Pacers inspired
one tonight. Yep.
Not that I would want to buy either, because I wouldn't, but it was cool to get to see it. And
your only John Cena merch is the one you teased me with.
Yeah, it's the only wrestling merch I have, and it was bought exclusively to annoy Joe. So
that's what friends are for.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still wear it because it's comfortable. It's a good shirt, but it was legit just bought to reveal at the Royal Rumble. It was a fun time.
Which you hid from me, and then I jokingly said, I can't believe you didn't buy any Cena merch just to kind of tick me off. And then you said, well, now that you mentioned that, and you unzipped your jacket, and there it was.
It was a grand reveal. And actually, the only person that ended up actually mad was Kristen when I didn't let her in on the joke so she could help with it.
Yep. My wife's all for annoying me.
Good times. All right, go ahead.
All right, we got Lesnar out. Lesnar and Cena are starting the show. Lesnar comes out looking absolutely jacked. I don't know what he's been taking, but it's been a lot of it to get that big. So he looks like a giant monster. John Cena comes out with like a bazillion kids. Like, I don't know how many kids came out with him, but it was a shitload.
Somebody on Twitter said, man, John Cena just came out with so many Labubus. And I had no clue, because I know what Labubus are, because what's her name? Rhea Ripley collects them. So I was like, why would John Cena come out with them? And then when I actually watched the bit of entrance that I did see from the match, I was like, that's fucked up.
So John Cena and a roster of children. Kristen joked that Nikki Bella's backstage is like, oh yeah, now he wants to be around kids.
That's funny.
Yeah. But he always is around kids. He does so much Make-A-Wish stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of kids. And spoilers, kids are about to be big sad because big match John got his big match ass beat. This was a squash match. This was Lesnar power slamming, F5ing, and suplexing Cena all over the ring. John got one hope spot where he hit consecutive AAs before Lesnar shut that shit down and beat him with an F5.
Yeah, can we just talk about how pointless this match was?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You and I both picked Lesnar to win. We knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, this was a match to write John off TV for a while.
But it still doesn't answer. Like,
happy retirement tour.
In story wise, it does not answer. Why? Like, what was the point of the match if you're just going to have him get absolutely...
Fans will be mad if Brock Lesnar comes back to wrestle Big Match John, because it's John Cena's retirement tour.
Yeah, no.
John would want to wrestle him.
No.
They already tried that, and John Cena's like, yeah, they just book him and I show up. I don't have any say on any of this.
So, now that we're done with that match, apparently, the tag match between the Usos and Bron Brons has LA Knight as a special guest referee. They announced that during the pre-show. Yep,
it was an earlier in that day segment.
So, match 2, Usos versus Bron with La Knight as special guest ref. I actually enjoyed this match a bit more than I expected to.
I did too.
The Usos came out with a different rendition of Jay's music, but it still took them like 15 minutes to get to the ring.
It took them 9 minutes and something seconds.
Um,
I timed it.
oh, did you? Is that even to the second half of, or the last, like, the
I
re-entrance?
think that includes both the entrances
Okay.
since they ran it back.
Um, I put there's no reason for the Usos entrance to be this damn long and to run it back. This is unnecessary. Braun comes out dressed like Rick Steiner, which I thought was amazing, by the way. Um, I didn't expect it because I don't think he's done anything tied to anybody in his family that often.
He's done some subtle things.
Now, it wasn't full on spray painted like Rick's was. Rick's, is it Rick that's his dad? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can, for whatever reason, I can never remember which one's his dad. Although, come to think about it, I should know because he looks way more like Rick than he does Scott.
Yeah, Rick's his dad.
He's got an Uncle Scotty. Sorry. But no, so I thought it was cool that he came out with the little spiked jacket. And like I said, it wasn't spray painted like his dad's were back when his dad was doing it. But it's still
didn't come out looking like he's not quite the dog face gremlin.
No, he's close though. As long as he doesn't yell weird shit at people in lines at fucking wrestling things, we'll be all right.
We can always hope.
But again, though, Steiner's, it was an homage to his dad, and I think it actually looked really cool with them. I hope they actually continue to wear shit like that because I do think it fits them. Will they? Probably not. But yeah, so and then I said, fucking Michael Cole just reminded me Jay won at the Royal Rumble here in Indy earlier this year. Fuck you, Cole.
Right.
I try to forget that happened. Breaker and Knight get to arguing pretty early on. Braun goes to use the chair, and Knight tells him he's not allowed to use the chair. But then Jimmy super kicks Braun and takes the chair, and Knight's like, oh, yeah, go ahead. And he walks away.
Screw it. Yeah.
I like, and at this point, this basically becomes a hardcore match. We do get a Spiner Bulldog spot, which is always nice. The Usos pull out a Slim Jim. And then they hit the 1D on Breaker. Reed breaks up the pin attempt. And then I said, Reed tried to hit a moonsault. Holy shit. That's a lot of weight to be backflipping. Then I put, Jay's bleeding for some reason. Breaker spears both Usos through a Slim Jim in the corner. And then, Reed. Dude, they should have never put two Brawns together on the same team. I hate it.
It's Braun and Bronson.
But then Reed does his tsunami on Jay, and Braun wins. I said, right call, but it means I automatically lose for this pay-per-view as well.
Yep. I swept the night.
Yeah, you did.
But that's okay.
I'm well, if you guys watched the pick'em, I literally only picked different in this match because I didn't want us to both have the exact same picks. I wanted somebody to win, damn it. But no, this is I do think having Braun win the match was the right call for sure.
Agreed.
Because they need to be built as a more powerhouse style team.
I agree.
And here's the thing: I do think the Usos at some point should get that win back. I just don't think it should happen anytime relatively soon.
Oh, did you mention the double spear through the table?
Yeah, I just didn't mention it.
Did you mention that?
Like
did you mention that they moved LA Knight out of the way? Or Jimmy?
Oh no, not yet. So they zoom in on the spear for the replay, and in slow motion you can clearly see
Jay pushing him out of the way.
Jay pushing LA Knight out of the way so that LA Knight didn't get speared through the table. Now I don't know if he did that storyline wise. Like, are they going to play into this for the story? Or did he do that because LA Knight was in the fucking way for the finish? Nobody knows. But we'll see. I thought it was a nice touch, though, and I do hope it's for storyline purposes. Because, again,
I do too.
I would rather Jimmy and Jay be a face tag team than a heel tag team. Now, they're fully capable of doing both.
Sure.
They've been both at some point in their careers. But, like, it's hard to watch somebody that's loved go from being loved just being a dick. And that's even as somebody who likes heel characters. Like, I love heel characters, and I think heels make most people more interesting. But, like, it just makes no sense for Jay out of nowhere to all of a sudden just start being a dick to everybody. Just like it didn't make much sense for Cena out of nowhere to heel it up the way that he did.
Well, it's not necessarily that it came out of nowhere, because before Roman disappeared again and him and Jay were having all those interactions, Roman was telling Jay that he needed to worry more about himself. Jay just took it to the umpteenth degree.
Right. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. Again, the biggest conundrum I have on this entire match is trying to figure out where Jay started bleeding, because it like happened out of nowhere. Like out of nowhere. You never see him take a punch or a hit that makes you think, oh man, that's how it started. Because it happened right before he took the spear through the table.
Yep.
So we don't know. Shit happens, I guess. All right. It looks like you get all of the women's matches. At least this one was my match of the night.
Yes, this was by far the match of the night.
For a WWE show.
Yeah, well, it's not uncommon for the women's matches on either brand to be match of the night. But we got Stephanie Vicure versus Io Sky. They started out nice little chain wrestling. Stephanie got an armbar in the ropes. Io hits a springboard drop kick. I don't have a lot of ropes. I just kind of sat back and like thoroughly enjoyed this match. Io also hit a dive to the outside. Springboard cross body by Vicure. They did a bunch of springboarding. And this is where Stephanie started working on the knee. She hit her little dragon screw in the ropes. She also hit one in the corner later on, kind of slowing Io down. Oh no, where'd I go? Eventually, Io gets the advantage, goes for a moonsault, misses the moonsault, gets kicked in the face. Stephanie hits her SVB. Io kicks out. Nice near fall. Neither one of them can really finish each other off. Stephanie kind of gets Io down, goes for a version of what did they call it? The spiral tap, which was essentially like a twisting moonsault for the win. Super great match. These two have very good chemistry.
Hold on. So, funny moment happened that you missed. So,
What I miss?
And I only wrote this down because of the stupid shit that came with it. So Steph tried for her devil's kiss twice and was unable to get it. So she finally gets the stupid devil's kiss on. I say stupid. It's a fun move. Now, I don't look at it like fucking Booker T does, but it's a fun
That's
move.
why I don't even mention it, because most people overly fixate on it.
But she goes to do it, and Wade Barrett actually says, man, I'd like to kiss the devil. And I said, keep those thoughts to yourself, sir.
Right, that's an inside thought. I do like how, so I hate like how when Aminata does her stupid thing in
chocolate kisses. I hate that move.
Yeah, in AEW where they kind of slap her ass. I like how like Io and Kyrie take the devil's kiss. Because of the way their arms are flailing around and stuff.
Right.
Just subtle thing like that, but I like the way they take the move. But yeah, I didn't even mention the Devil's Kiss because most people
and
just are overly infatuated with it.
The way I described her finishing move, I said Stephanie wins with a wild corkscrew 1080 spin Rimini flip flop.
Yeah, it's almost like a Phoenix Splash, except you don't do the extra rotation.
I said, what the hell was that? Like, it was so cool looking.
It is like a twisting moonsault.
I've never seen her do it though, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time she's done it.
But I would be lying if I said I was like overly familiar with her work. I've seen some of her stuff, but not like a huge amount. And I didn't watch any of her NXT run because I can't stand Shawn Michaels run NXT.
So at the end of the match, Stephanie and Io both bow to each other, and then
mad respect for each other. This was a great match.
And then they hugged it out.
The shit I'm saying it doesn't really do it justice. They were just in sync. They were on each other.
And I will be honest. So this probably ranks in the top 5 to 7 women's matches I've probably ever seen.
I don't know if I could go that far because even if I just narrowed it to WWE alone, you've got so many of the
my
NXT the NXT era, Bayley and Sasha.
My favorite
Asuka,
my favorite women's match all time was the opening night 1 women's match from 2 years ago. That was it 2 or 3 years ago? Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
them 2 women killed it, and it is again my favorite women's match I've ever seen. They beat the hell out of each other. And Charlotte, I think Charlotte got injured during that match, and her coming back for this year's Rumble was her comeback from that injury, if I remember correctly. But no, that's in my opinion the best women's match I've ever seen. Now, with that being said, I mean there's a lot of really, really, really good women's matches too, right? Because and you're right. You can just think of NXT Black and Gold era alone, and think of how many great women's matches there were. Like the actual 4 women, the 4 horsewomen 4-way just match between the 4 of them was insane.
Yep, we never got a main roster version of that.
With how good it was, which that surprises me too, by the way.
I agree. It's right there.
But yeah, so yeah, when they did,
it was a great match. No,
but this match was really good.
Undersell it, but it was really good.
Match 4, I just squeaked. CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Punk has his AJ Lee gear on.
Yep.
I thought it was just rainbow gear because I was like, well, that's a weird choice for Punk. Not
like all the colors from her shirt.
Well, it's not a weird choice for Punk because he's all about, supporting
his wife.
LB. Well, no, what I'm saying is the way my mind processed it.
Like the LGBT.
I didn't notice it had AJ's name on his gear. I thought it was just a rainbow fitted outfit, and I was like,
because he's a very progressive man.
He is, and I was
absolutely.
I was like, well, that's cool. But then I seen the AJ, and then I seen the bottom of AJ's boots, and then I was like,
yep.
Oh.
Yeah, both couples were matching.
Yeah. Now, Becky immediately tags in, and then
they did the heel tag thing for way too long.
And then at some point, while I was getting toilet paper to blow my nose into, I guess the men tagged back in, and they were fighting on the outside of the ring when I got back. And then I hate mixed tag matches because since you automatically have to switch partners when one person tags, you never really want to tag. It's like
it doesn't have the same kind of stakes as tag matches, so you can't really get hot tags.
But this match gets interesting later. So Punk keeps trying to tag out because he's getting his ass beat, and the heels are just doing a really good job of cutting off the ring. Whether it's traditional, pulling them away from the ropes, or there's that one part where, Punk gets the tag, but the ref doesn't see it because Becky's distracting the ref.
Yeah. They did a lot of really cool you almost got the tag thing.
Right. And then Seth goes to military press drop Lich onto Punk, but Punk moves. So he just basically...
That was a really weird spot. He held her up there forever.
So he basically military press dropped his own wife, which is amazing.
Yeah, it was funny.
And then Punk's about to get the tag, but Becky pulls AJ off the apron because that's where she rolled out of the ring. So she was on that side of the ring. Seth starts skipping around, mimicking AJ Lee, which I thought was hilarious. But as he skips around Punk, Punk gets him up into the GTS and hits him with it. He doesn't go for the pin immediately because, of course, he's been getting his ass beat.
His ass has been worn out.
Becky tries to stop Punk from tagging, but he just drags her while smiling. And then he blows her a kiss and then tags AJ in. So she comes in. And she actually starts fighting with Seth as well. Like, he's not fighting back, but, like, she's swinging on him. She ends up doing this really cool sliced bread where she's holding on to Seth. And she runs and kicks off of Punk, who helps her backflip.
Yep, and then she slice breads him and moonsaults onto Becky.
Yeah, it was actually really well done. And
it was nice.
And Becky was right where she needed to be, which was really cool. So yeah,
that's probably the spot of the whole match, honestly.
Both Punk and AJ do their turnbuckle knees and shining wizards. So it's basically them doing each other's comeback moves. AJ goes to do the Black Widow, and shortly after, she then gets it on Seth. So I was like, oh, so the women are actually going to like fight with the men. They're going to get them in moves. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the men just can't fight them back.
Becky hits her Beck-sploder, and then her and Seth both hit pedigrees, but AJ kicks out. Becky and Seth then go to do GTSs on them, but Punk gets out and they go over the top. AJ then hits a Beck-sploder on Becky. And then Seth trips AJ, which he's about to bounce off the ropes to do something, which pisses Punk off. So Punk goes in and starts attacking, chases Seth into the ring, starts attacking Seth. Becky attacks Punk, and then Punk goes to put Becky in a sharpshooter. I was like, oh, yay. The men are going to do moves to women, too. This is how it should be. Rollins stops it, puts Punk in another pedigree, and then stops Punk. He goes for a pin, even though he's not the legal man, and the fucking ref counts it. AJ ends up doing the curb stop to break it up, at which point Becky hits the manhandle slam on AJ, and she goes for the pin, and the ref counts it too. And at this point, I'm just like, the ref don't know what they're doing.
Person, they don't even know. Just count the match.
It's actually one of the sloppiest refereeing jobs I think I've seen, because
that's more like some AEW ass refereeing than some WWE ones.
Right, and that's where my mind was. And this wasn't a new referee. It was the lady that's been doing stuff with WWE for a while now.
Right.
So I was like, well,
who knows? Maybe we're missing some weird mixed tag rule that WWE has where it doesn't matter who gets the pin. Who knows?
Maybe.
Trying to give the lady the benefit of the doubt anyways, since WWE is not really known for their sloppy refereeing.
So it eventually turns into a brawl where Punk and AJ are, they're on top, outside of the ring. AJ and Punk clear the announce tables, and AJ and Punk go to do Seth and Becky's finishers to them on the tables. They get reversed, and then those reversals get reversed, at which point Becky tosses AJ over the table through them as they were doing their move. And let me guys tell you something. AJ was an awkward land away from going on IR.
Yeah, I thought she was about to tear her knee up.
It wasn't even her knee that I was worried about. The way that table collapsed, I thought she was going to land on the edge of the table as it collapsed, and she was going to break a rib. Like, that's what I was worried about.
The way her leg was hanging off the table, I thought it would have hyperextended her knee.
Right. So eventually, at that point, Becky tosses AJ into the ring. Because she's going to go in and do her finishing move, and in the process of setting up for the manhandle slam, AJ reverses it and wins with the Black Widow.
Tapped her out.
And Becky did not wait long to tap.
No, she did not.
Post-match during the celebrations, Punk does the Pacers choke face that Reggie and Tyrese both made popular. And they celebrated in the ring together. Funny, though, that, they're from Chicago, and they're the ones making the face. Anyways, I guess it wouldn't matter, because we did it to the Knicks, didn't we? Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways.
Although Chicago is in our division.
They are. So, yeah, it was, I enjoyed the match. I actually thought AJ, for the most part, looked really good. She definitely looked better than Kingston did. And she's been gone longer. But yeah, now Joe had mentioned that it didn't look like the women were hitting very well, like throwing punches.
Yeah, their punches and slaps look flaily.
I didn't notice because most women typically flail when they swing, so it looked normal to me. I mean this jokingly. Most women swing like they're the women in No Mercy. They really don't.
Oh God, the slaps.
But that's how they were slapping in this match, and that's probably why I didn't notice it, because I didn't notice.
If there was one critique that I could give AJ and Becky both, and AJ may have toned hers down because she actually did hit Becky a couple weeks ago and gave her a shiner, so that may have been feedback she already received to kind of tone that shit down, but they didn't look great. But she may have gotten one too good in there and actually caught her the other week. So,
right,
could have been an overcorrection.
So after that match, and I'm pretty sure you didn't take notes on this, so I'll go ahead and talk about this. Kid Rock came on to the loudspeaker, and I was very confused.
As you should have been.
And it was American Badass, and I was like, oh, so Taker's here. And of course, Taker comes out, and I was like, I think that's the first time I've heard Taker come out to American Badass in like 20 years. So yeah, and he comes out on his motorcycle, he rides it down to the ring, he parks it over by Steph, and he like is staring at her. Right? And he grabs a bike, and I felt like at the beginning, this was really awkward. And I'm pretty sure it was meant to feel that way because she didn't know what was about to happen. So, he grabs a bike, and he does his traditional thing where he takes the fucking WWE sign off of the bike. Because for whatever reason, he doesn't like it on there when he uses a bike. He walks over to the edge of the thing, and he's like, is anybody sitting there? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, here, step back, Steph. And she scoots back, and he, tall steps over the fucking guardrail because he's big enough to do that. And he sits down next to her. And he says, it's funny. We were at the fights a couple weeks ago. He was like, and I'm sitting in my seat, and I'm sitting there watching the fights with you. And he's like, or not with you, he didn't say with you. He said, I was sitting there watching the fights, and I turned around, and you were actually sitting right behind me, weren't you? And she was like, yeah, come to think about it. He's like, yeah. And he's like, and now I come out to the ring, and as I'm driving, and I look over, and you're sitting right there. And she's like, well, yeah. And he's like, are you following me? And she just starts laughing. She's like, Undertaker, I've been following you for like 20-something years. 30-something years. I don't know how long she said it. And he was like, and I actually thought it was real cute because, like, her and Mark do have a really good friendship.
Sure.
Like, she grew up with this dude practically like being her uncle, if you really think about it. With the way, well, I wouldn't say uncle. That's probably weird. At least a close family friend, I guess, because him and Vince have always been really cool. And I think that's why I thought uncle, because I feel like you would, like, my kids would probably consider you their uncle if, like, we actually hung out with you as a family more.
Right.
But yeah, so he looks at her and then he goes, man, so I guess, I've only got one question. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. He goes, are you ready? And I was like, now this is getting weird because now you're just imitating Triple H, and I don't know how to take this, Taker. So then he goes, I said, are you ready? And she just kind of looks at him, and he goes, Stephanie McMahon, I'm just here to let you know that you are the first inductee to the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. And her jaw drops.
She's legit shocked.
And he's like, are you okay with that? And you could read her lips, and she actually says, I don't think I am. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be like a turned down proposal. Let's see how this goes, because this could be fun. But she actually starts to tear up a little bit, because she wasn't expecting this. And,
right.
Like, she doesn't full on bawl, but, like, you can tell she's getting emotional. And Taker's just laughing about the whole thing as it's happening. And I was super happy. I started tearing up because like I said, I thought it was super sweet the way they did it. And I was just like, man, this is actually really cool. Now, I want you guys to understand something. I'm not the biggest Stephanie McMahon fan, but I'm not a hater by any means either. And I do feel like if there's any McMahon that should be in the Hall of Fame, she's it. I mean, she did start the women's division after all. She created women's wrestling.
She invented women's wrestling, Nick. Didn't exist before her.
But no, she did help she did help the push to revolutionize it, though. But she's been so enveloped in the company since she was a teen, and I feel bad for all of the really dumb shit her dad forced her to do for the business.
That's wrestling.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Well, the really dumb shit in the wrestling sense, not the shit he's in. He's currently in litigation for
forcing his daughter into kissing like Kurt Angle for a storyline, or kissing fucking what was the other guy, Eric Bischoff. Like that's just some weird shit, dude.
He pitched an incest angle to her.
Yeah,
thankfully she turned that down.
I know, and again, she technically could have turned anything she wanted to down. Like, that is she could have told her dad to fuck off. But at the same time, like, it's your dad, and you're trying to help push the business and build the business. So, I feel bad for her. I'm glad she's out of all of that now. And like I said, I do feel like she's the only McMahon that should be in the Hall of Fame. Do I think she's going to be the only McMahon to ever be in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely not, because I guarantee you Vince does get there eventually. But yeah, it was cool. It was a cool moment. And it was funny because Nick Khan shows up shortly after. And you can actually read her lips as she told him that he was in trouble. I was like, that's amazing. All right, if you want to talk about the championship match so I can try and breathe again, it's all you.
This will be very brief. This was a SmackDown main event.
And I would like to mention
as a pay-per-view main event.
I would like to mention at some point during all of this, Pat McAfee fucked off. I don't know what happened. I don't know where he went, but he was not commentating for this last match, and there were only two people sitting at the desk, and it was Cole and...
he said at the end of the one match that he was like, all right, gentlemen, I'm out.
Oh, I didn't realize that he was only around for a little bit. I thought he was there for the whole show.
No, he pieced out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he pieced out. Probably wanted to get home. There's not really much to say about this match. Cody was feigning a concussion for parts of this for some reason. It was your normal affair. There was Cody cutters. There was, I'm getting a little tired of Cody. I feel like it's 2020 AEW Cody, and I'm getting a little tired of the same shtick.
My problem with Cody is honestly, he's the world champ or WWE champ, whatever. And he shouldn't be. And I don't mean that as I think he sucks. I don't think he sucks. My problem with Cody is way better as somebody chasing the title than he is as somebody who has the title, right?
Well, that's because he has no edge to him.
And a big problem that I have with all of this, and it's the same problem that I've had in wrestling. I don't give a fuck if you're The Rock. I don't give a fuck if you're John Cena. I don't give a fuck if you're Triple H. I don't give a fuck if you're Cody Rhodes. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you want to act, go do that. Like, and I don't mean you can't come back.
Don't be the champion while you're doing it.
I'm not saying you can't come back and wrestle, but if you want to act, go do that. But let other people be the champ while you're doing that. There's no reason why you as the champion.
To be fair, that's not his call.
No, it's not. And I'm not 100% blaming him for everything that I hated about this match. I just hate this is one of the small things that I hate. It just drives me nuts when someone's the champ and they disappear for a while. Like, most of fucking Reigns' run.
That's why I hated it so much.
Now, here's the thing. I don't think Cody is going to keep disappearing every 3 weeks for a new film role.
Well, he had some other stuff come up, too. He did just have a baby.
Yeah, he did have a baby. But, like, take care of that shit. Let someone else be champion, and then you can come back and fight for that title.
Well, that's the problem, though. Who on SmackDown, aside from Drew, who he just beats tonight, spoilers, who is there?
I mean, all you need is Drew. He carried the company on his back during the 2020 COVID
Panini during the Panini.
The Panini. No, who does SmackDown have? Listen,
exactly.
Let me tell you this though: it doesn't matter who SmackDown has. You know why? Because they don't follow that shit anyways. People just show up where they want to.
No, you're not wrong. It could be worse. It could be Jey Uso.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I would rather Cody have the title and disappear for 6 months.
I'm here, Oos. I'm here every week.
That's the problem, Jay. Go away. But my other problem, dude, listen. You have a problem when people wrestle like they're playing a video game. I have a problem when people wrestle and they're playing a video game and they've had finishers stored up for 3 or 4 game sessions. So they're constantly spamming the same fucking moves over and over again. I swear to God.
That's every Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar match.
I swear to God, I just watched Cody try to hit like 32 Cody cutters. I don't need that many Cody cutters in a match.
Yeah, it was a lot of Cody cutters.
It was all Cody cutter, dude. Like 50% of the moves was Cody cutter, and then it was like there were like a couple of actual thrown in fucking because he won with the crossroads. He did like 2 crossroads. At least he didn't have to do like 15 of them to get the win. But he hits the. We've pretty much talked about the whole match, by the way, guys. Congratulations. But yeah, he hits a couple of Cody cutters. Because he hits the one kind of midway through the match that Drew kicked out of, and then he hit the one to actually win the match. But then there's stupid booking decisions that I absolutely hate. You are going to sit here and tell me, and this is one of the things that even fucking what's his face? The Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett even calls it out. Like, why is the ref stopping the wrestler from doing a move on the outside of the ring when it's not an illegal maneuver? It logistically does not make sense for a match. It just doesn't. Angry sick.
Are you talking about when Drew was going to kick him again?
Yes. Like, it is not the ref's place to get out of the ring to stop that.
That you just count the threes.
Like, you stop people from using weapons, and that's it. Like, you enforce the rules. There's no rule against kicking somebody's head to the fucking announce table. It's... So, storyline-wise, because here's the thing. I get why they did it. It gave them a reason to stall up long enough to make it believable that he kicked through this table so that he could sell the stupid fake injury later. But story-wise, when you're actively telling the story, it's stupid. Because it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. And this isn't like, obviously we all picked Cody. We knew Cody was going to win. We're not dumb. Would I have liked for Drew to win? Absolutely. Because I like Drew more than Cody. I have always liked Drew more than Cody. I think Drew's a better wrestler. I will even say I think Drew is a better all-round package than Cody. The only thing Drew doesn't have is this super duper catchy theme song. He still has a really cool one, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'm ready for Drew to have something else.
But like, yeah, I love Drew. He's, like I said, he is one of my favorite people on that roster. He has been for a very long time.
Yeah.
No one can play a heel quite like he can. He's really, really good at it. And here's the thing,
He's
though.
one of those heels that you can understand you can understand why he's upset because he has kind of legit reasons to be upset.
Right. But he is also
him and Kevin Owens are the only ones that kind of refer to the past and how they were treated to justify their behavior as the heel.
And what's funny is both of those two are also really, really good faces when they're put in a face role. Like, they are like.
I don't disagree with
and
that.
I'm glad you brought up KO because KO is another one of my favorite people on the roster.
Sadly, he will not be back anytime soon.
Yeah. He'll be back.
He did have successful surgery though, so I'm super glad for him.
So did Ospreay, for those of you that didn't know. But yeah, so this match made me so mad. And again, the constant Cody cutters, attempts at Cody cutters. You had one Cody cutter that it looked like McIntyre slammed him out of, but he took it like an actual Cody cutter. It was so weird. It was like one of the first couple of Cody cutters that he hit. I don't. You know who I like to see do the Cody cutter because he does it like once out of every 35 matches?
Who's that?
John Cena. He does a fun Cody cutter.
It's very floaty.
It is. But he knows it's a bad move. So like he rarely does it, right? He'll break it out very rarely, but you know when he breaks it out, he's really trying. But no, Cody just does it all of the fucking time. All of the time. And the problem is, the more you do that move, the more flaws you see in that move. Especially if it's in the same match. Because, like, he did it, like, legitimate guys, without actually going back through accounting it, he did do it at least 7 to 8 times. At least attempted to do it 7 to 8 times total. At least.
And the messed up thing is, he has another move that's almost exactly like it, except he turns around and kicks him.
Right.
So between the disaster kick and that, like...
But the problem with this Cody cutter specifically is every now and again you'll run into a situation, and it happened a lot in this match, where you could tell Drew has to hold him in place so that they can actually fully connect on it. So, like, he'll jump in the air, and Drew will catch him. Like it's almost like he catches him in a way that he'd be able to back suplex him or some shit out of it, but then he falls forward with him, and it pulls away from the move so bad. It's frustrating, and yeah, I don't know why he had to hit his signature move that many times, but he did. And then of course, because of the leg thing, because of the story that they told, like the whole Drew collapsing.
Yeah, Drew went to kick him. Drew went to kick his head through the thing again. Cody moved, and Drew hurt his leg. Because I don't think we mentioned it. So
yeah, we did.
Drew limped through the rest of the match, and it helped be his undoing.
But yeah, his collapse when he went to go do the Claymore, and I was like, bullshit. Come on, fam. Like, I watched how you kicked through that fucking table. You absolutely didn't hurt your leg on that. So, I don't know. Again, I'm not bummed Cody won in the sense that, like, obviously, as a fan, I'm bummed because I do like Drew more. But somebody that understands wrestling, I'm like, well, they want Cody as their champ because Cody is, like, their biggest merch seller because Cody is this generation's fucking Cena. You know, all the kids love him. And
yeah, he's the top babyface right now.
Yeah, so they're going to put the title on him so that he can also go on TV and do interviews with his shiny emblem and whatever. But yeah, there were rumors. Somebody thought that, like, I guess Orton was going to come in and screw Cody over. And I was like, that's weird.
He just got done defending Cody's honor against Drew.
Right. No, he didn't. Remember? He just attacked him because he's an asshole.
Yeah, whatever.
Or prick. He called him a prick. I attacked you because you're a prick. But yeah, no, it was, listen. It all boils down to the one thing that we were talking about before, right? You absolutely are fucking yourselves over as a company by trying to counter-program somebody that puts on better wrestling match shows. And pay-per-views, or PLEs, are, for WWE, they're wrestling-centric shows. These are the shows that you get most of your wrestling through because you spend so much of the TV time with smaller details and things like that to set up the stories. And that's fine. I'm not making fun of you for doing that. That's how you're supposed to do the business. It's sports entertainment, and we get that. But you're going through, and listen, you're going to get the views that are going to be more than All Out for what AEW does. And you should. You're a bigger company. You've been around way, way longer. So people know who you are. But my problem is, your matches, when compared to AEW matches, your matches suck. So I don't see if anybody is actually watching All Out and then going and watching Wrestlepalooza afterwards, or any other time we've gotten to do this, because this is like the 4th or 5th time they've done this, where they counter-program with AEW. Like, I don't see how you go from watching one and then watching the other and then not feeling empty at the end. Because it's like, man, this was... and this wasn't even a great All Out. There's going to be people that will fight you over that. They're your AEW diehards that are going to be like, oh, it's one of the best pay-per-views of all time. Because y'all people that are like diehards for whatever company you ride for are fucking weird. Just like somebody's going to talk about how Wrestlepalooza is probably great if you don't listen to people on Twitter. That's a big one that a buddy of mine likes to say. It's like, no, maybe the show just sucked. But yeah, and again, if this show had not been on at the exact same time as, or on the exact same day as All Out, if you'd have given us like a week to transition from All Out and then go into Wrestlepalooza, I don't think it would have felt as bad as it did. I really don't, because it wasn't a bad WWE show. I do think the only actual bad match on the card was the opening match. And I feel like everybody knew it was going to be a bad match. I actually think that's why they stuck it first.
It wasn't even really much of a match.
I feel like they were like, look, we're going to lose a lot of... There's going to be people that aren't going to come over until after All Out's done. They're going to be in the last match of their show.
That's the counterpoint to WWE people. They think that people are going to come over because it's John Cena and Brock Lesnar. That's two big names.
Let me help you out with this, though. This is a very obvious proof of what I'm about to say. If I was a WWE diehard and I left watching the end of All Out to come over and watch whatever the fuck that was to start off the show, do you know how disappointed I would be as a wrestling fan?
Well, that's the thing, though. You can't honestly put yourself in that situation because you're not so diehard one way or the other.
But I can. Do you know how many times we've watched this with Brock Lesnar even before AEW was around? How many times we look forward to a match? Man, you know what? I can't wait for this Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose match that's going to kick a lot of ass because it's a hardcore match. And then the motherfucker just lasts 5 minutes because he just suplexes him into a pile of chairs 15 fucking times. No, I know what this feels like. Thankfully, I'm not a diehard Cena fan. I was a diehard Dean Ambrose fan at the time when it happened. Because I thought, oh, this is going to be the only way he's going to be able to beat this dude for the title. No, I was wrong. Like, we watched him do it to Taker at WrestleMania. So yeah, no, I know what it feels like. And again, but that was all before AEW even existed. But we knew it was going to be a squash match. You and I even talked about it. We were like, yeah, we both said that we thought Lesnar was going to win and it's going to be a quick match. And it was.
Yep.
And again, if I'd have left All Out, if I'd have been like, yeah, Bizzle, watch the rest of All Out, let me know how it goes. I'm going to switch over so that we could cover Wrestlepalooza from the beginning. I'd have been pissed. Oh, I'd have been so pissed. I'd be like, I switched for this. What the fuck was the point? Although, I would never do that. At the very least, I would have turned both shows on at the same time. I've got multiple monitors where I'm sitting, so it's possible. It is possible. But yeah, dude, the big problem with WWE with this counter programming is it really does make them look bad. And I don't mean bad from a business standpoint. I'm not talking about, because it does make them do that too. It makes them look desperate. And there's no reason why they should be playing like they're desperate. They're the obvious industry leaders. No one's probably ever going to catch up with them, especially anytime soon. So for all this counter programming and trying to take up all of like on-air spots across all of television and shit, it's just weird to me, dude. And then on top of it, you're putting on shows the exact same days to try and counter program, and your wrestling's just not on the same level overall. Like, your women's match was really good. Really good. One of my favorite women's matches of all time. Congratulations. That's the only match on that card that I could say was that good. Everything else was mediocre to poor. You had some cool spots, some cool moments. I did like seeing AJ Lee back. That was cool. But, you know, I've rambled. I've ranted. And the more I've rambled...
Wrestlepalooza, everybody.
The more I've ranted, the more stuffy I've become. Big Six sucks. But yeah, that was All Out and Wrestlepalooza. Overall, not a bad day of wrestling.
Just a long one.
Just a long one. It was a lot of hours. I think it was a total of what? Well, you technically watched more of that first match than I did. I didn't even watch the Cena Brock Lesnar match. I didn't care. I just pieced out. I fast forwarded to the start of the next match. Whew. All right, guys. That's going to do it. This was a long one. 2.5 hours of conversations. We will see you guys Monday for
Raw.
Monday Night Raw. Hopefully, I'll be able to breathe better. I doubt it, though. We'll talk to you then. Deuces!
Later.